Chapter 3777. This was a world-level battle, and countless people were probably watching it. The dark red dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. Indeed, the battle between the Demon Palace and the Rain Clan had attracted the attention of everyone in the two-star realm. Although they weren't from the Saint City, these two forces were still extraordinary. Demon Palace. It was one of the top 3 forces on the demon planet. Its palace master, the demon overlord, stood at the peak of the Saint Venerable realm. He was currently in seclusion. Once he succeeded, he would become a Saint King. This was a force second only to the Saint City. As for the Rain Clan, it was once a glorious clan. Although it had declined, it still occupied 2 worlds. It could be said that its foundation was also extraordinary. This battle was between a powerful new force and a declining old force. Naturally, it would cause a lot of commotion. Countless experts from various clans and worlds were watching the battle. Even some people from the Saint City had come. They wanted to watch this rare world-ending battle. Heavenly King Hun had also returned to the army camp. His expression was incomparably solemn. "Young masters, although we are at the rear and won't be affected, I'm afraid this old man won't be able to protect you. I hope you won't blame me. Don't worry, we're just here to watch the battle. I don't think the Demon Palace will take action." Lin Xian nodded. The Crimson Dragon said, "Old man, if even you are so scared, what kind of experts are coming?" Heavenly King Hun took a deep breath. This time, it was probably a world-ending battle. The Demon Palace had sent a Saint Venerable to fight. It was even rumored that they had brought a Sun-class Saint weapon. At that time, if they really launched an all-out attack, the whole world would be completely destroyed. The dark red dragon sucked in a breath of cold air. "This is crazy." Lin Xian was also surprised. Saint Venerables had also joined the battle? That was an existence, more terrifying than a minor saint. They even had a Sun-class Saint weapon. It seemed like this was really a battle to the death. "Then why are you still waiting here? Hurry up and run," the Crimson Dragon said. Heavenly King Hun said, "It's not that simple. The Rain Clan's foundation is also beyond imagination. They must have at least a Sun-class Saint weapon. After all, the Rain Clan was once glorious. Therefore, whether or not they could defeat the Rain Clan in this battle was still unknown. Interesting. All the more reason for us to stay here and watch." Lin Xian sneered. This kind of shocking battle was something that they might not encounter for thousands of years. Although it was dangerous, they were still not afraid. This was because they also had a Great Sage artifact in their hands. If they really couldn't do it, they could enter the Great Sage Tower and directly shatter the void to leave. More and more black holes appeared in the sky. The experts of the Fiend planet were still teleporting. Finally, 3 days later, a bolt of lightning streaked across the 9 heavens. At this moment, a majestic voice resounded between heaven and earth. "Kill!" The sky moved. Countless experts of the Demon Palace rushed down from the sky and attacked the Rain Clan. This scene was simply too shocking. Every single one of them was like a demon god. It was as if countless black mountains were descending from the sky, making it hard for people to breathe. Boom! Boom! The void shattered in an instant as countless arrays were torn apart. The great earth sunk, terrifying great cracks appearing. It was as if the entire world was going to be hacked apart. "Those who offend my Rain Clan will be killed without mercy." In the depths of the earth, a furious voice was also heard. Immediately after, dark clouds gathered in the sky and countless raindrops began to fall. Below them was a vast ocean that surged through the sky. The entire world seemed to have turned into an ocean. Heavy rain poured down. This was not ordinary water. Instead, it was filled with killing intent. Each and every one of them was formed by a peerless killing array that contained the power of the natural laws. In an instant, they collided with the army of the Demon Palace. Both sides began to fight. On the Demon Palace's side, there were people who had their bodies pierced by the natural laws of the rain, and fell to the ground. As for the other experts, they rushed down and arrived on the ground. The city below was instantly destroyed. The platforms, pavilions, and palaces were all turned into ashes. At this moment, they had truly gone mad with killing. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were fighting in the army camp. At this moment, their expressions were grave. Truth be told, the two of them were veterans of hundreds of battles. They had seen all kinds of geniuses and experienced all kinds of dangerous battles. However, those were only individual battles. At most, they would be surrounded by several hundred people. But now, there were more than hundreds of millions of sacred spirits fighting. This was the first time in their lives that they had experienced such a grand scene. This kind of spiritual shock gave Lin Xian a lot of enlightenment. It was truly hundreds of millions of sacred spirits as soldiers and millions of fiend gods as generals. The formations of the Rain clan were truly marvelous. They had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Even Black Mountain was alarmed by it. The northern monster also extended his soul to observe the battle. This was a world-destroying battle. The northern monster was greatly alarmed. The demon palace's powerful attack destroyed countless cities below them. Although the Rain clan had a torrential rain and countless formations, they were still ruthlessly destroyed. Right at this moment, light erupted from the distant ground, illuminating half of the sky. A minor saint attacked with all his strength. As he opened and closed his palm, an overflowing aura was emitted. Countless experts of the demon palace were sent flying. At this moment, the might of a minor saint was vividly displayed. Since you dare to behave atrociously in my Rain clan, all of you must die. That minor saint of the Rain clan was emitting overflowing, killing intent. It was as if he had transformed into a god of death. He formed hand seals, and the natural laws of rain were shot out from his palms. At this moment, a silver river swept across the 9 heavens. Wherever it passed, the experts of the demon palace were all split in half. In this battle, over 1,000 experts had fallen. Humph! So what if you're a minor saint of the Rain clan? It's not your turn to be impudent. On the demon palace's side, a minor saint also arrived. He was holding a black ghost seal in his hand. A ghost face stretched out and shattered the silver river. The 2 minor saints fought fiercely. "I'll help you." Another minor saint rushed over. After all, the Rain clan was their headquarters. It was very convenient for them to send reinforcements. 2 against 1, the minor saints sent the ghost seal flying. However, at this moment, a long black saber flew over from the sky and slashed down, splitting the 2 minor saints in half. Ah! The 2 minor saints screamed miserably. A top-grade saint tool. Their faces were filled with fear. This was a top-grade moon-grade saint tool. Ordinary minor saints did not have it. Only Saint Venerables had it. They did not expect it to be used so quickly. The one holding the top-grade saint tool was a minor saint at the peak of the 6th heavenly layer. His strength was so strong that it could crush everything. He waved the long saber. Wherever it passed, nothing could stop him. Asterisk roar. Asterisk in the endless sea. A shark that was over 10,000 meters long rushed out. Its huge body turned and sent countless people of the demon palace flying. In addition to the shark, a powerful sea demon came out from the deep sea. The Rain clan's territory was originally occupied by the sea. It was extremely vast. There were countless sea demons in the sea. At this moment, all of them erupted. Asterisk roar. Asterisk in the sky. Another extremely terrifying roar was heard. It was the demonic beast that the demon palace brought. It was a black bat. It was also a 6th heavenly layer demonic beast. Its strength was unparalleled. Chapter 3778. He flapped his wings and brought forth an endless amount of demonic wind. At the same time, he sucked out black lightning that filled the sky. It was like a lightning tribulation. In an instant, over 100 million sea monsters were killed. Their corpses fell down and piled up into a mountain. Their blood turned into a sea of blood that surged between heaven and earth. Bitter. This was the only word that could be used to describe this battle. It could be said that the Rain clan had produced experts in large numbers. They had countless formations and even used all kinds of weapons. It was obvious that the demon palace had come prepared. Your demon palace is too excessive. Do you really want to fight to the death? The people of the Rain clan roared crazily. Among them, 3 silhouettes rushed over. These 3 silhouettes looked very old. They were living fossils. Their cultivation had reached the late stage of the 6th heavenly layer. At this moment, they were recklessly displaying their power. Their auras were like dragons that could crush heaven and earth. The 3 of them joined hands and took out a decree. It was the method of the Rain clan. It was extremely ancient, and there were many cracks on it. On the decree, there was an ancient character that was flickering with a demonic radiance. It was an ancient Taoist scripture character. Although it was only a single character, it was like a sun that illuminated the world. It was a good item. When the crimson dragon sensed the aura, its eyes immediately shone. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He already knew about the might of the ancient scripture character. However, it seemed that this was its true might. Sure enough, even Heishan was surprised. The foundation of the Rain clan was really interesting. The people of the Demon Palace were also alarmed. Those few characters were like a mountain that pressed down on them, causing their bodies to tremble. The experts of the Demon Palace also roared. They took out their moon-grade top-grade saint artifacts and erupted with power. The black blade was like a huge black dragon. It descended from the sky and slashed toward the Rain clan's decree. They wanted to destroy it. However, they were repelled by the radiance emitted by the Taoist scripture. The Rain clan's decree suddenly rushed out and collided with the long blade. It was actually able to send the long blade flying. Not only that, but the body of the late-stage 6th heavenly layer small saint of the Demon Palace also split open. He let out a frantic scream and quickly retreated. You want to leave? Go to hell. The 3 living fossils roared. They controlled the Rain clan's Taoist scripture and chased after him. Others wanted to go up to them, but all of them were sealed. All of a sudden, the 3 living fossils actually suppressed a part of the world. The Demon Palace's members felt their scalps go numb, and despair appeared in their eyes. However, at that moment, a palm covered the sky and covered the earth. It directly enveloped the Rain clan's decree and the 3 spark stones. Then, the bodies of the 3 living fossils split open, and they screamed as they retreated. The decree of the Rain clan was also grasped in Ren Yi's hand. Who was this person? Lin Xian's eyes widened. Too powerful. The little saint was killed with just a flick of his finger. The crimson dragon also screamed. Holy venerables, there really were holy venerables. Is this a saint venerable? Lin Xian was astonished. This was too terrifying. This was the 7th heavenly layer of the saint realm, completely surpassing the minor saint realm. Every heavenly layer was a realm. It was indeed a well-deserved reputation. The gap between them was really too big. At this point, wanting to jump ranks to battle was really as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Oh no, it was the Lord. On the Rain clan's side, Yu Shichiet and Di Ling also frowned. There were a lot of super experts standing next to them. Their expressions also changed greatly. Quickly go and ask the old ancestor to take action. The old ancestor, who was also the clan leader of the previous generation, had also reached the Holy Venerable's level. Normally, he would cultivate in seclusion, not caring about anything. At this moment, he had no choice but to come out. A huge hand of water covered the sky and blocked the pitch-black hand. What? You want to take away my Rain clan's magical treasure? Stay. Under the control of the Holy Venerables, the decree of the Rain clan blossomed with brilliant light. It flicked away the huge black hand. As for the big black head, his left hand held the top-grade sacred weapon, the pitch-black long saber, and fought a great battle. The battle between the two holy venerables swept through everything. The range of the battle was really too wide. It made the others not dare to approach. Quickly retreat. They left the sky and went to another place to fight a decisive battle. This time, the demon palace did not only bring a top-grade sacred weapon. Other than that, they also brought these two weapons, which were in two different places. Finally, they tore apart countless great formations. They slaughtered their way into their headquarters and tore them into 10,000 pieces. The people of the demon palace rushed in like demons from hell. With top-grade sacred weapons opening the way, there were no formations that could stop them. However, the Rain clan was, after all, occupying two worlds. Their foundation was very rich. Their headquarters was located at the center of the world. The palace was suspended in the sky like a divine land. It was exceptionally beautiful and dreamy. At this moment, the formations protecting their headquarters were even more powerful. They had been passed down from the ancient era. They were absolutely incomparable. Quickly counterattack. They were relying on their super formations to counterattack. The battle was very bitter. Furthermore, it lasted for a very long time. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. Every day, there would be experts dying. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood would be covered. The entire Twin Rain planet had turned into an Azura hell. Gradually, 2 months passed. 3 months passed. The outcome of the battle had yet to be determined. It was truly too miserable. The entire world was dyed red. People from many holy cities arrived. Of course, no one went out to fight. No one joined the battle. It seemed as if two powers were fighting. Among them, people from the 10,000 Fiend City and Thunder God City arrived. For example, Lei Chong, White-Eyed Beast Sage, and the others. They all arrived at Twin Rain Planet to watch the battle from the rear. With their status, it was very easy for them to obtain the protection of one of the powers. The battle lasted for half a year. It attracted the attention of countless people. Everyone was discussing, probing, and speculating about the outcome of the battle. In the end, they speculated that both sides would very likely end in a draw. Both sides would suffer great losses. However, on this day another saint arrived. He was also a holy venerate. He carried a sun-grade divine artifact. With a single strike, he directly pierced through the world. A pitch-black hole appeared, causing countless people to scream in fear. The battle had changed. The news spread throughout the second starfield. Everyone screamed excitedly again. Had a sun-grade divine artifact finally appeared? Sure enough, a crack appeared on the Rain clan's super grand formation after being struck by this attack. Kill. The people from the Demon Palace finally seized the opportunity to kill their way in. Furthermore, the people in the headquarters were in despair this time. What kind of weapon was that? It was too terrifying. Even their formation that had been around for several tens of thousands of years was shattered. At the center of the Rain clan, the headquarters of the Rain God Island, blood flowed like a river. A great battle broke out. Countless buildings on the island collapsed. No, this time they had really gone crazy. Their elites and treasures were all destroyed in the headquarters. How could they not be jealous? Quickly, ask the old ancestor to take action. However, they were in despair. 2 holy venerates wanted to kill the old ancestor. Their old ancestor retreated in defeat. His body was covered in blood, and he could not care about them at all. They reckoned that he was in danger of dying. Could it be that the heavens wanted to destroy the Rain clan? Many people were in despair. Chapter 3779. The face of the Rain clan's patriarch was gloomy. He looked around with a face full of fear. He knew that he could not hold on any longer. He had to use a more powerful foundation. Quickly use the blood sacrifice to activate our 10,000 years of foundation. The Rain clan had a long history. How could they only have one saint venerable? However, some of them were like a lamp that had run out of oil. They were sealed by divine crystals. They would not use it until the moment when the clan was exterminated. Now that they had reached the moment when their clan was exterminated, they had to use their foundation. Countless Rain Clan martial artists cut open their palms, causing blood to gush out. Beneath the ground, an extremely simple and ancient array formation appeared. It flickered with a demonic light. The ground cracked open, and a pitch-black passage appeared. The patriarch of the Rain Clan jumped in. The elders of the Rain Clan also followed. Even Yushurtia was lucky enough to follow in. After stepping in, she was stunned. It turned out that this was an underground world, a world of its own. In that world, there were many sleeping figures. They were sealed by the highest grade divine crystals. Their life aura was at the lowest. These people were incomparably old, like dried corpses. However, they were not dead. There were a total of 12 figures. 2 of them were abnormally old. They were 2 saint venerables. The other 10 people were saints at the peak of the 6th heaven. They were 1 step away from entering the realm of Saint Venerable. This was the foundation of the Rain Clan. It was the foundation of their tens of thousands of years of inheritance. At this moment, they had no choice but to use it. Of course, they did not dare to use all of them. They only revived half of them. They revived a saint and 5 peak 6th heavenly layer small saints. After these people were awakened, they revealed heavy gazes. What's going on? Why do you have to wake us up? Old ancestor, the clan is about to be exterminated. A strong enemy is attacking. We have no choice but to wake them up. The people of the Rain Clan knelt down. The revived saint and the 5 late 6th heavenly layer small saints were instantly furious. Who dared to exterminate the Rain Clan? Do you want to die? Kill. Kill them all. The Saint Venerable led the 6 late minor saints and soared into the sky, breaking through the ground and heading towards the sky. Boom! The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The void was shattered. Countless large cracks appeared. Heavens! Another Saint Venerable has appeared. Someone screamed. In the distance, Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, Lei Chong, the White-Eyed Holy Beast, and the others were all extremely shocked. Humph! The Rain Clan's trump card has appeared. Brat, watch carefully. Hey, Shan coldly snorted. Lin Xian's eyes glowed with golden light as he stared into the distance. In the next moment, he narrowed his eyes. That was because just the light that the figure carried was enough to make his eyes hurt. Was this the Lord? Others couldn't even look at them directly. Such people were truly world-shaking experts. Those who offend my clan will be killed without mercy. After the Saint Sovereign appeared, he raised his head and roared, absorbing the power of the 9 heavens and 10 earths. Its originally shriveled and zombie-like body instantly swelled up, and its head of white hair also turned jet black. Soon, he turned from an old man with 1 foot in the grave to a handsome man in his 30s. The power in his body was too terrifying. It was like a vast ocean, vast and mighty. Behind him, the 5 late little saints were the same. Each of them had recovered to their peak state. Ancestor, the ancestor has been resurrected. The people of the Rain Clan screamed unceasingly. Hope was restored in their eyes. This is great. Kill. Their confidence was greatly boosted, and they quickly rushed over. Asterisk buzz. Asterisk the Saint Sovereign rose from the sky and stood together with the Saint Sovereign of the Devil Palace. The 2 collided, tearing apart the 9 heavens and 10 earths. At this moment, the Rain Clan, who was originally in a disadvantageous position, once again faced the Saint Sovereign. The 2 sides are evenly matched again, and there's no word the momentum of the Rain Clan increased greatly, and the more they fought, the braver they became. Was this the power of a Saint Sovereign? A single person was enough to reverse the situation of the battle. Lin Xian was astonished. When would he become such an expert? The other spectators were also shocked. It seemed like the Rain Clan was really going all out. Even the Saint Sovereign had been resurrected. Most likely the battle would end soon, right? Of course, they also knew that this was the final moment, and it was extremely dangerous. The slightest carelessness would cause them to enter the myriad tribulations realm. This is great. The previous patriarch of the Rain clan laughed heartily. Originally, he was almost killed by the Rain clan. Now, another Saint Sovereign had come. The two of them joined hands and unleashed the Rain clan's great divine ability. They even unleashed the ancient scripture of the Rain clan. Kill! The resurrected Saint Sovereign took out a sword. With a wave of his sword, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. It was also a sun-grade Saint tool. This attack was really too terrifying. 2 sun-grade Saint tools were enough to destroy the entire world. Fortunately, this attack was aimed at the 9 heavens and the outer space was shattered. If it was aimed at the earth, perhaps the entire world would be torn apart. Bang! The 5 resurrected minor saints also rushed toward the black bat because they felt that the threat of the black bat was extremely great. The black bat had already killed many sea demons and many of the Rain clan's people. Bastard, you're courting death. After being resurrected, the 5 minor saints roared and attacked crazily. The black bat roared and resisted. However, it was soon seriously injured. These 5 resurrected old fellows were really too powerful. One of the black bat's wings was chopped off, and its whole body was covered in blood. It was really too miserable. The faces of the people of the Devil Palace became incomparably unsightly. Could it be that they were going to fail this time? The onlookers also sighed. The situation had taken a huge turn. It seemed like the Rain clan was going to change the situation. They didn't expect the Rain clan's foundation to be so strong. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The Crimson Dragon said, "Wow, it can't be, right? Can they still turn the tables?" Lin Xian was also shocked. It seemed like these ancient families were really much more terrifying than what he had imagined. However, at this moment, the situation changed again. One of the 5 resurrected living fossils had its body split in half. In the sky, a black water serpent rushed out. It was also a 6th heavenly layer demon beast. Its strength was unparalleled. As soon as it appeared, it immediately chopped an expert into 2 halves. At the same time, it started killing in all directions. At the same time, the black bat also fought back. 2 Saint Sovereigns were fighting against 5 living fossils. Damn it! That living fossil's body was restored, and it was fighting against the black bat. However, the situation was only a little better. There weren't any major changes. After all, 5 late minor saints had appeared at the same time. This was simply an extremely powerful force. Unless the Devil Palace sent out another Saint Sovereign, they wouldn't be able to resist them. The curtains were about to fall on this battle. That's right. The Devil Palace was probably going to be defeated. Unless they sent out more late minor saints or another Saint Sovereign, there shouldn't be any, right? The Devil Palace didn't have such a foundation. Even if they did, they wouldn't appear in a short period of time. In the 2nd heavenly realm, the onlookers shook their heads. They felt that the battle was about to end. The people of the Devil Palace were also retreating, preparing to retreat at any time. The Rain clan was full of confidence. Kill! Quickly kill them and avenge our people! These people rushed forward. They would never let the Devil Palace leave so easily. Chapter 3780. The situation was one-sided. The Fiend Palace suffered heavy losses and many people died. Blood overflowed and dyed the earth red. Right at this moment, a sigh resounded. Who would have thought that the Rain clan would have such a trump card? That sigh caused the bodies of many Rain clan's saints to split open. Even the 5 living fossils had cracks on their bodies. It was as if they were facing a great enemy, and they quickly retreated. Damn it! Another Holy Venerate appeared. At this moment, the people of the Rain clan went crazy. The experts of the second astral realm also sucked in a mouthful of cold air. What was going on? Another holy venerate from the fiend palace descended? Wasn't this too inconceivable? Countless gazes looked over, searching for the person who spoke. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's eyelids were also twitching violently. As for He Shan, he cried out in surprise. There was going to be a good show to watch. It seemed like an extraordinary character had come from the fiend palace. Buzz! Heaven and earth shattered, and a figure appeared on the horizon. Then he walked over. He only took 3 steps, but he crossed over 1,000,000 miles. This was simply the power of an inch. Not good. The 2 holy venerates of the Rain clan also felt their blood run cold, and they quickly retreated. At the same time, they joined hands to support their sun-grade saint artifacts and hammered down countless laws, completely enveloping the people of the Rain clan. The people of the Fiend Palace also quickly gathered. The corners of the 2 holy venerates' mouths rose into a smile. In the next moment, they slightly bowed and paid their respects to the palace master. Could it be that the palace master of the Fiend Palace was the palace master of the Fiend Palace? When everyone heard those words, they were all stupefied. How was this possible? Wasn't the palace master of the Fiend Palace in seclusion? How could he appear here? The people of the second astral realm were dumbstruck. As for the people of the Rain clan, they felt their blood run cold. The saints of the Rain clan almost wet their pants. The palace master of the Fiend Palace was in existence at the peak of the Holy Venerate realm. He was only a step away from becoming a holy king. When such a person appeared, he would sweep across the world. Apart from a true holy king who could suppress him. Holy shit! How did this person appear? The Crimson Dragon was startled. This was the legendary fiend overlord. Lin Xian's pupils also fiercely. This was the demon child's father. He was truly too powerful. His voice alone was enough to tear a little saint's body apart. In the second astral realm, the experts who were secretly observing also exclaimed. Even the powerhouses of the holy city looked solemn. As for the people from the Rain clan, their complexions turned even paler. If the demon lord really came, then they wouldn't have to fight. A person who was about to become Shengwen king. Even if they used all of their trump cards, they might not be able to defeat him. The 2 saints of the Rain clan stood there as if they were facing a great enemy. Above their heads, the sun-grade saint artifacts blossomed with incomparable radiance. Autumn mountain rain soared. Never would I have thought that your Rain clan would even take out this saint artifact. The figure that appeared said faintly. His eyes were like 2 suns, staring at the treasured sword above. This scene made the 2 holy venerates of the Rain clan feel as if they were facing a great enemy. One of them gritted his teeth and said, "Demon Lord, do you really want to fight to the death? Although your cultivation is higher than ours, we haven't fully revealed our trump cards yet. Once we fight with our lives on the line, both sides will suffer. Do you really want others to reap the benefits?" That's right. Although the Demon Lord's powerful, our Rain clan isn't easy to bully. The other holy venerate snorted coldly. The Demon Lord said indifferently, "You killed my son. Don't tell me you don't allow me to take revenge." Ridiculous. The demon child wasn't killed by our Rain clan. With your strength, you should know. The other holy venerate snorted coldly, his face incomparably ugly. What do you want to do? Who would be able to say for sure? You guys should just obediently surrender. If you can leave the Double Rain Star and find another place to settle down, I can consider letting your Rain clan go. Damn it, you actually dare to have ideas about our world. The 2 holy venerates of the Rain clan roared crazily. The laws on their bodies surged. At this moment, they finally understood that the other party was just looking for an excuse to attack their Rain clan. On the other side, Lin Xian also frowned. What's the matter? Could it be that they know that the demon child wasn't killed by the Rain clan? If that's the case, why are they still attacking? Lin Xian was too shocked because the demon child was killed by him. Could it be that the other party already knew about it? It seems like this demon lord is planning something big. He Shan transmitted his voice. He knew that his son wasn't killed by the Rain Clan, but he still attacked. Then, there was only one explanation. He had his eyes on the double rain star where the Rain Clan was located. He wanted to occupy both worlds. Occupy both worlds? Lin Xian was too shocked. That's right. He San nodded. Do you know what it means to possess a world? All the resources in the world would be yours to use. Think about how much wealth that would be. More importantly, with the world, you would have the power of the world. Do you know what a sun-grade saint artifact is made of? Other than heaven-defying metal materials, it also requires countless laws to nurture it. Once it's nurtured, it will take thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, or even tens of thousands of years. At the Saint Realm, cultivation is already very difficult, let alone refining a saint artifact for tens of thousands of years. That's very difficult to do. Therefore, there's a method, which is to use world energy to nurture it, using the entire world as a container to nurture a saint artifact. Only in this way can a sun-grade saint artifact be created after countless years. Other than that, you can only snatch it. However, the consequences of snatching a sun-grade saint artifact are very big. If it's light, you'll be killed. If it's heavy, you'll be chased for thousands of years. No one is willing to bear such consequences. Moreover, sun-grade saint artifacts usually have spirits. It's very difficult to snatch them away. So that's how it is. Lin Xian was stunned. Saint artifacts actually require world energy to nurture. He really didn't know this before because he never thought of nurturing saint artifacts. Except for the Black Earth, it's a semi-finished product. The other saint artifacts were all snatched by him. The Great Destruction spear was snatched by a great demon. The unparalleled sword was given to him by the Holy City. Other than that, the other saint artifacts were also obtained by him. Therefore, he really doesn't know much about the refinement of saint artifacts. Then what about the sun-grade divine artifacts? For example, saint artifacts are also nurtured with world energy. That's right. However, they're even more terrifying than sun-grade divine artifacts. Not only do they require the nurturing of a world, but they also require the nurturing of several worlds to nurture a saint artifact. As for emperor weapons, they're even more terrifying. I once heard of a legend. Legend has it that in ancient times there was an extremely terrifying weapon that was nurtured by 999,999 worlds. In the end, it was extremely heaven-defying. It's said that this weapon once opened a path to the immortal world, 999,999 worlds. How terrifying is that? Lin Xian was too shocked. Where did that weapon go? I don't know. Some people said that it entered the immortal world. Some people said that it shattered during the battle with the immortals. Even now, I don't know what that weapon is called. I only know that there was such a legend. While Lin Xian was learning about these things, the saint venerables of the Rain Clan in front of him were completely furious. The dual rain planet was the foundation of their Rain Clan. They had 2 worlds that allowed them to have unlimited resources. Moreover, they could nurture sun-grade divine artifacts. Even the dragon veins of the earth could nourish living fossils like them. But once they left, they would have nothing. Chapter 3781. It had to be known that this was no longer the era of war. Now, every world had a master behind it. Most of the worlds did not have a powerful overlord. They were divided into groups of heroes, and some of the worlds seemed to have powerful individuals standing side by side. However, they were all generated, which was why there were too few ownerless worlds. Basically, there was none. Even someone as strong as the demon overlord, who was about to become a saint king, did not have an independent world. After all, the Fiend Star was shared with other forces. It seemed that the Fiend Overlord was truly anxious. That was why he had the idea to attack the dual Rain Star. However, did he really think that the Rain Clan was so easy to bully? Is that so? It just so happens that I want to experience the techniques of your Rain Clan. The evil demon Overlord in front coldly said. An extremely terrifying aura appeared on his body, causing all the saints around him to vomit blood and fly backward. They knew that there was going to be an earth-shattering battle, so they frantically retreated to the edge of the world. Kill! The two Saint Venerables of the Rain Clan controlled Chiao, 3 heavens, Rain Sword, and chopped down. This sword was like a peerless divine sword that split the world apart. A terrifying aura enveloped the Fiend Overlord. The Demon Overlord coldly harumphed, and countless traces of demonic chi appeared around his body, forming a pair of demonic hands that went up to meet the attack. Clang! Countless cracks appeared in the sky. It was so scary. Everyone was shocked. However, some of the true experts knew that this was merely a probe. The real killing move was yet to come. Sure enough, after one attack, the two sages of the Rain Clan controlled the autumn 3 heavens Rain sword to attack again. This time, the power was much stronger than before. The Devil Overlord sneered. Their precepts filled the air, and the great Tao revolved around them. Terrifying Saint Aura flew out. Zhang Xian thrust his palm forward, and it was as if a black sun was spinning in the air, clashing with the other party's sword chi. Boom! Boom! The battle between the two was earth-shattering. The strength of the two Rain Clan's Saint Venerables was very strong. Coupled with the Sun Grade Saint artifact, they were truly terrifying to the extreme. However, the Demon Lord was even more terrifying. The laws on his body were like the sharpest sword light, constantly tearing apart the void. The battle between the two sides shocked everyone. At this time, a small saint of the Rain Clan suddenly screamed, "You're not the real body. You're just an incarnation." He was simply too shocked. As soon as these words were spoken, the surrounding people were all stunned. What's going on? Was this terrifying demon overlord just an avatar? If that was the case, wouldn't it be too terrifying? Where's the real demon overlord? Is he still in seclusion? Everyone gasped. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon felt their scalps tingle. This person's strength was beyond their imagination. Boom! Boom! That's right, you do have some foresight. This is only one of my incarnations. But even so, it's enough to deal with you. Wang. The Fiend Overlord held the black saber in his hand. One person and one saber continuously attacked, forcing back the two Holy Venerates. Damn it, kill him. The two Saint Venerables from the Rain Clan furiously roared. Their bodies were dyed with blood. However, they were not afraid. The aura of the great Tao surged from their bodies and surrounded the 9 heavens. You want to kill me? You're overestimating yourselves. The Demon Lord sneered. Although it's just a clone, it's not something you can resist. Boom! The laws on his body were like a vast ocean, sending the two of them flying. At the same time, he sneered, "Kill them all for me. Let the Rain Clan be completely destroyed." Kill! The people of the Demon Palace crazily roared. Previously, they were at a disadvantage. Now, they could finally turn the tables. Their overlord had arrived, and he would lead them to sweep away everything. Wang! 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 A black gourd appeared in the sky. It was as big as a mountain. The lid of the gourd opened, and clouds of black fog came out from it. They turned into phantoms one after another and pounced on him. Ah, you! The saints of the Rain Clan screamed as if they had gone mad. The Holy Venerables also roared, "Retreat quickly! Don't block it!" Their complexions were unsightly. That was because the gourd contained the malicious spirits that the Fiend Overlord had gathered in the starry sky for several thousand years. It was extremely terrifying to use and nurture them. Ordinary small saints were not its match. Under the powerful attacks of the fiend overlord's clone, the Rain Clan was forced to retreat again and again. Blood surged in the sky once again, and corpses piled up like a mountain. The people of the Rain Clan were in despair once again. This feeling was even more terrifying than the first time they had been in despair, because they still had hope the first time. But now that they had used up all their trump cards, they still couldn't do anything to the Fiend Overlord. The Fiend Overlord's attack was extremely terrifying. He used the Black Gourd to block the two holy venerables of the Rain Clan. At the same time, the Sun-class Saint tool in his hand emitted an incomparable radiance as he slashed downward. The earth cracked open, and one after another trench appeared, covering the entire world. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. The people of the Rain Clan screamed crazily. Some fled and some resisted. As for the holy venerables, their complexions were extremely unsightly. Was the Fiend Overlord looking for the world's soul? Revive quickly. Use all your trump cards. The living fossil holy venerables roared crazily. They could no longer block it. Below, the leader of the Rain Clan once again led the Rain Bead Dancer to carry out the blood sacrifice, reviving the remaining members of the Rain Clan. Below the earth, a terrifying aura spread out. At this moment, everyone was terrified. Some of the onlookers even left the world. They felt that if this continued, the world would collapse. It was better for them to escape quickly. Young masters, leave quickly. We will also leave. We are no longer needed here. The Heaven-battering King's scalp went numb. He was originally in charge of the logistics team, and his responsibility was to provide resources. But now that the battle had turned out like this, they were no longer needed. They had to leave quickly. If they didn't, the energy waves would tear them to pieces. After speaking to Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon, the Heaven-battering King quickly left with his subordinates. On the other side, Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon's expressions changed. They also felt the monstrous aura. They were at the edge of the world, very far from the battlefield. Even so, the aura still made their hair stand on end. "Let's leave quickly," the Crimson Dragon said. He didn't want to stay any longer. Lin Xian nodded and prepared to leave. But at this moment, Heishan floated out. He asked, "Do you really want to leave?" "What do you mean?" Lin Xian was stunned. "If we don't leave, are we going to stay here and watch? We can also go to the extraterritorial station." Indeed, most of the people were watching the battle in the extraterritorial station. They were all saints and could definitely see the situation clearly. If they couldn't, there were still experts who had set up formations. They could watch through the formations. However, Heishan shook his head. "I'm not talking about watching the battle. I'm going to give you a great opportunity." "Great opportunity? What great opportunity?" Lin Xian was even more confused. Chapter 3782. What fortune? Heishan laughed. "Of course. It's to give this world to you. How about it? Are you interested?" The dark, rainbow, godly dragon jumped up. "Are you serious? Are you trying to cause trouble?" Lin Xian was also shocked. Could it be? He thought of a possibility. Heishan nodded. "That's right. It's exactly what you're thinking. How about it? Do you dare to do something big?" Lin Xian naturally knew what Black Mount meant when he arrived at Western Liangqi. It seemed like Heishan wanted to help him seize the dual rain star. The evil demon Lord attacked the Rain Clan and even wanted to destroy the Rain Clan in order to seize this world and control its power. Now that Heishan said so, were they going to fight against the evil demon Lord? Lin Xian said seriously. Although this idea was very tempting, the evil demon Lord was too strong. One of his incarnations could fight against two saints. This strength isn't something we can resist. Of course, we won't fight him head-on. Heishan said, "No matter how strong he is, it's impossible to destroy the Rain Clan in a short period of time. It'll probably take a few more months. We can use this time to secretly change the owner of this world. At that time, you can seize this world and leave here. Even if the evil demon lord kills the Rain Clan, he can't do anything. Lin Xian asked in detail. He felt that this might really be an opportunity. He Shan briefly explained how to seize the world. Lin Xian's heart jumped. It turned out that every world had a world soul. It was equivalent to the heavenly Tao and could control the laws of the entire world. Once it was recognized by the heavenly Tao of this world, unless it died, no one else could recognize it. Or they had to find the world soul. Otherwise, even if you occupied the entire world, you wouldn't be recognized by the heavenly Tao. He Shan's suggestion was to secretly find the world's soul and seize it. Okay, they could try. Lin Xian thought about it. Although it was dangerous, if they succeeded, the benefits were too great. In the future, these two worlds would be his. What kind of concept was that? He felt excited just thinking about it. Next, the three of them made sufficient preparations. They hid their aura and sent it into the ground. Black Mountain used an ancient secret technique and began to search. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon quickly followed. They were nervous and excited. As they got closer and closer to the battlefield, they could feel the terrifying energy fluctuations coming from the other side, so their speed was very slow. After walking for several days, they finally got close to the so-called World Soul. Ka. Black Mountain stopped in front of him. He seemed to have bumped into something, but he wasn't angry. Instead, he cried out in surprise. He found it. It was here. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon walked up and looked ahead cautiously. I don't see anything special, the Crimson Dragon grinned. Lin Xian frowned. His path was blocked. That's right, it was blocked. However, it was not blocked by a stone, but by a formation. This formation was formed by the great Tao of heaven and earth, as well as the dragon veins and spiritual veins of the earth. It was extremely terrifying, and it was very deep. It was at the center of the world, so the battle above had not affected it. Sure enough, the Crimson Dragon made a few seals to break the formation. Immediately, the formation in front of them lit up, circle after circle, illuminating the surroundings. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He realized that this was a square-shaped array formation that had completely sealed off the entire space. Through the formation, they saw that there seemed to be an ancient bronze coffin inside. A coffin? The Crimson Dragon was surprised. Could it be that this was the World Soul? Lin Xian was also surprised. He San said, it seemed that the experts of the Rain Clan were hidden here. The World's Soul should be inside this coffin. If we open the coffin and take the World's Soul, we can snatch this world from the Rain Clan. What are we waiting for? Hurry up! The Crimson Dragon was excited and immediately broke the formation. Black Mountain said, don't be impulsive. This formation is much more terrifying than imagined. If you are not careful, the people above will know. At that time, those Saint Venerables will come down to kill you. Think about the consequences. Damn! The Crimson Dragon was shocked and quickly retracted his hand. He said with an unkind expression, Old Black, you are not trying to trick us, right? Lin Xian was also vigilant. Yes, what are you trying to do? I am trying to do something, but I don't need the power of this world. What I need is to help you. After getting the power of this world, you will help me revive. You want to revive? Lin Xian was surprised. Black Mountain was a great saint. If he was revived, wouldn't he be a great saint too? That was an existence even more terrifying than a saint king. Thinking of this, his heart beat wildly. He had the Eye of Time. It was very mysterious. It had saved his and the Crimson Dragon's lives before. He didn't know if the Eye of Time would work on a great saint. Moreover, Black Mountain had died too long ago. He didn't know how many tens of thousands of years ago he died. Therefore, Lin Xian wasn't sure. Black Mountain didn't know that he had the Eye of Time. Previously, when he revived the Dark Rainbow Dragon, he did it secretly. However, he still said, okay. As long as you don't become enemies with me and don't harm me, I will definitely help you revive in the future. Okay, I believe you. Black Mountain nodded solemnly. Next, he began to make his move. The dragon veins of the earth wanted to revive, but they were extinguished by Black 3. The dragon veins let out deep dragon roars. Damn! Such a magical method to break the array. The Crimson Dragon was surprised. He watched carefully. Lin Xian was also surprised. At this time, Black Mountain said, Kid, use your dragon sword spirit to help me suppress these dragon veins. Dragon-shaped sword shadows flew out from Lin Xian's body to suppress the dragon veins. Black Mountain was breaking the array quickly. Even so, it took him half a month before he managed to tear open a crack on it. Go in quickly, He Shan said softly. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon transformed into a stream of light and rushed in quickly. This time, there was no blocking array. They could finally see the bronze coffin at a close distance. The bronze coffin was very old. The shape on it was very strange. It was unknown how many tens of thousands of years ago the words were inscribed. Not only that, it also emitted an extremely terrifying aura. The Crimson Dragon walked forward and wanted to open it, but just as he stepped forward, the bronze coffin suddenly bloomed with light. The runes on it seemed to be alive, carrying a terrifying aura. The dark, red divine dragon jumped in fright and immediately retreated to put some distance between them. F***CK, is he alive? It scared the dragon to death. Lin Xian also looked at Black Mountain. Black Mountain said, Alive, but not much different from death. Only breathing. His soul and body were probably very weak. Lin Xian nodded. He had heard that only living people could have the world's soul and control this world. Even if the person's aura was very weak, as long as he didn't die, there would be no problem. And once he died, he would immediately choose another successor. Thinking about it, the Rain clan should be passed down like this. Chapter 3783. He Shan slowly approached, and the bronze coffin lit up again, emitting a mysterious aura. He Shan snorted coldly. Stop pretending to be mysterious. If I was at my peak, I could kill you with a single glance. Indeed, He Shan was a true great sage at his peak. He probably had many worlds under him. The most powerful person in the bronze coffin was probably a sacred venerable, so He Shan naturally looked down on him. Of course, although he looked down on him, He Shan was not careless at all. After all, he was only a remnant soul now. He used many secret techniques, stacking them on top of each other, and his aura became incomparably mysterious. Lin Xian was shocked. He found that He San had used many laws to construct a small world. Was he using a world to fight against a world? It was really too magical. Sure enough, the small world constructed by the spectre kept colliding with the bronze coffin, causing the runes on the bronze coffin to tremble. The lid of the bronze coffin also slowly opened. Boom, boom, boom. Just like that, another 3 days passed, and the lid of the bronze coffin was finally opened. More than half of the coffin was revealed. Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon carefully went up to take a closer look. They found that there was an old man lying inside. He was not tall, only about half a meter or so. He looked very old, and his body had begun to shrink. The old man lying there was withered like a zombie, and there was no aura on his body. Damn, is this guy really still alive? The Crimson Dragon whispered. Why did he look like a dead man? Lin Xian also frowned, and the golden light in his eyes swept down. Soon, he found that the other party's soul was like a small flame. Although it was very weak, it still existed. The other party was indeed still alive. Where was the heart of the world? Lin Xian asked. The spectre said that it was in his hand. Lin Xian looked over, and his eye technique burst out, looking through the other party's hand. He saw that there was a walnut-sized blue ball of light in the other party's hand. The ball of light was like a water droplet. There were many patterns on it, and they were densely packed. This shape surprised Lin Xian. Why did it look like a seed? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and grab it. The crimson dragon waved its claws and grabbed the other party's withered hand, then twisted it forcefully. What the F***CK, are these hands made of godly metal as well? His hand was so hard that it hurt. He realized that the other party's fingers had only cracked a little. Damn it, this guy's skin was too thick. Lin Xian gave it a try and was shocked as well. He had a divine body, and with the Qilin tattoo, he had the physique of a fifth-layer sage. But now, even with his full strength, he was only able to create a small crack. This person was really too strong. Even if he was dead, his body was not something they could break. Use the great dragon sword spirit, Heishan said. After Lin Xian heard this, he recalled the great dragon sword and began to pry open the other party's fingers. 1, 2, 3. Finally, he managed to pry open one of the opponent's fists, revealing half of a droplet-shaped seed. The battle outside was extremely intense. The Rain Clan's final trump card had been completely revived. 5 late minor saints and a Saint Venerable had completely revived. This caused the Rain Clan's combat strength to increase once again. Not only that, countless Rain Clan's experts were kneeling on the ground. They were very sincere. Ancient notes seemed to be coming out of their mouths, as if they were praying to the heavens. In the sky, the laws of the world were shining and hanging down. Divine chains of order caused the entire world to change. The people inside the world could feel the suppression. Those who were not from the Rain Clan had their cultivation base suppressed. As for the Rain Clan's people, their strength had increased. This caused the Rain Clan's people to be incomparably excited. Those Saint Venerables sneered. This was their world, and they could control everything. They could use the power of the world to suppress the other party. They could even attract the flames of heavenly punishment, torrential rain, and other kinds of worldly will to attack the other party. He wanted to let everyone know that their Rain Clan was the true ruler of the dual rain planet. The Devil Palace's people suffered heavy injuries again, and they quickly retreated. Palace Master, what should we do? Those saints' complexions were unsightly. The incarnation of the Devil Overlord sneered. No matter, we'll defend first. Although they were the ones in charge of this place, those Saint Venerables had just been revived. They won't be able to hold on for a long time. When their lifespan reaches its end, I'll personally send them to hell. The Devil Overlord sneered malevolently. The other Saint Venerables also smiled disdainfully. Indeed, they were different from the other party. Currently, the Rain Clan only had a single Saint Venerable. The other 2 revived Saint Venerables were their so-called trump cards. Since they were called trump cards, it meant that they could not be used rashly. Instead, they would be sealed again in an instant. Should they use them, once they used them, they would not be able to use them again. Thus, it was impossible for those 2 revived living fossils to fight for a long time. Otherwise, their lives would be exhausted and they would vanish like smoke. Thus, what they needed to do in the Devil Palace was to exhaust their opponents. They were at their peak and had endless lives. As for their opponents, they were at the end of their lives. Even if they were powerful now, they might become a pile of bones in a few days. Sure enough, the Devil Palace's people did not contend against them at all. They just kept moving around. The Rain Clan's people also discovered this, and their complexions immediately became unsightly. Damn it, they are wasting time. We can't continue like this. We can't afford to waste time like this. Those people's complexions became unsightly. They decided to launch a thunderous attack. They wanted to get rid of their opponents at lightning speed. The surrounding abnormal phenomena and the suppression of the natural laws became even more terrifying. The Devil Palace's people had unsightly complexions. If not for the Devil Overlord being here, they would have retreated long ago. That was because the Devil Overlord had suppressed them by nearly 30%. This was really too terrifying. The Devil Overlord was indeed smiling. They wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer if they persisted for a while. Moreover, I've already sent people to look for the world soul. As long as I find it, I'll cut off their connection. Let's see how they'll die then. In the center of the underground world, Lin Xian used the great dragon's sword soul to pry open one of the old man's hands and saw the appearance of the world soul. But all of a sudden, the withered old man opened his eyes. His eyes shone with a terrifying radiance. Careful! The crimson dragon was startled. Black Mountain was also astonished. Lin Xian's body shook. He felt as if his soul was being attacked. Someone wanted to devour his soul. It was too sudden. They did not even have time to react. As for Lin Xian, he was even more startled. Get lost! Lin Xian bellowed, and a golden eye appeared behind him. A terrifying soul attack surged out like a tide. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul also shone with a biting cold radiance. It wanted to destroy everything. Lin Xian used all his strength to resist the old man's soul attack. Chapter 3784. Lin Xian realized that he had been careless. He did not expect a dying soul to be so strong. He knew that he had underestimated a sacred venerate. Even a dying sacred venerate's power was not something he could imagine. Fortunately, he had many trump cards. This time he managed to force the other party's soul back. Lin Xian quickly retreated to a safe distance. At the same time he said, "Damn it, he's not dead." The crimson dragon jumped up and scolded. "Damn it, you old fart. You're already like this, and you still want to harm others. Go to hell." Buzz. The old man, lying in the coffin, did not move his head. However, his eyes moved slowly and stared at the crimson dragon. The crimson dragon felt his hair stand on end. His gaze was like a sharp sword that wanted to pierce through the old man's body. He roared angrily, "What are you looking at? Have you never seen such a handsome dragon? If you look at me again, I'll dig your eyes out. You old fart, why aren't you dead yet? It's a waste of the dragon vein if you stay here." The withered corpse's body moved up and down violently. His lungs were like bellows making wheezing sounds. This was because he was angry. He was a sacred venerate. When he was at his peak, he was an extremely terrifying existence, even among sacred venerates. However, he was very old and had reached the end of his life. Therefore, he was sealed here and used the remaining time to control the soul of the world. But now, an ant at the fifth heaven of the sacred venerate was mocking him. Moreover, a young man at the fourth heaven of the sacred venerate was able to force his soul back. This made him feel incredulous. At this moment, Heishan also floated over. He glanced at the old man in the coffin and shook his head slightly. "Your aptitude is average. You're already very lucky to be able to cultivate to this level. If you and I were born in the same era, I would probably be able to step on you with one foot and you would never be able to rise again." Puff! The old man spat out a mouthful of black blood. He was finally driven mad. Another dark soul appeared and dared to look down on him. "Ah!" She let out an unwilling roar. Her voice was very low. "Retreat quickly." Lin Xian, the crimson dragon, and the others were already prepared for this and instantly entered the great sage tower. This divine might slammed into the grand sage tower, creating a deafening sound. The great sage pagoda shook violently, but it was completely unable to withstand the impact. At the same time, on the other side of the land, a team quickly set off. They were led by 2 minor saints. They were very cautious, and their eyes were filled with cold light. They were sent by the demon palace to secretly seize the world soul. However, before they could even reach it, they were struck by an extremely powerful force that shattered their bodies, shattered their souls. No, these powerful beings screamed out crazily. They wanted to escape, but it was already too late. They were instantly torn to shreds. These people were not reconciled. They had not even reached their destination and were already killed. Damn it! What was happening in front of him? However, they would never know. The saint aura quickly swept out and then disappeared. Lin Xian and the other two sensed for a while. Realizing that there was no more danger, they walked out. The moment the crimson dragon came out, he scolded out loudly. He splashed the face of that elderly man. Holy sh*T. How dare you sneak an attack on yours truly? Do you believe that yours truly will slap you to death? Black Mountain laughed coldly. Indeed, his innate talent was lacking. Lin Xian snorted coldly as well. The elderly man was so angry that he roared out once more. The soul flame in his eyes danced. This time around, it was a horrifying soul attack that swept out in all directions. The three of them hid in the great sage tower once more. Clang! 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 The attack this time around was even more berserk, and the duration was much longer as well. After a long time, the crimson dragon finally popped out his soul flame. Holy sh*T. This old man is crazy. To think that he is still so strong, even though he is about to die. Damn it. Ben Huang must definitely become a Saint Master in the future. Don't talk anymore. Let's go out and take a look. Lin Xian and the other two came out once more, prepared to mock him. The crimson dragon was already prepared to spit out his saliva. However, they were dumbfounded when they saw the elderly man in the bronze coffin. His eyes were still wide open, but they had lost their luster. He is dead. The three of them could not believe it. This time around, Black Mountain personally checked. Then they nodded. He is really dead. It seems like he was angered to death by us. Hearing that, Lin Xian's mouth twitched. How infuriating. To tell the truth, he did not dare to believe that a saint sovereign would be angered to death. Of course, under normal circumstances, let alone us, even 10,000 people wouldn't be able to anger him to death. However, this person is really too old. He doesn't have much time left to live. Furthermore, he had used his strength twice before, so he used up all his remaining life force. However, he did die in anger. It could be said that he was killed by us. Black Mountain explained. After hearing that, Lin Xian was completely speechless. The crimson dragon was excited. Holy sh*T. He is dead. This guy is really dead. Ha 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 ha. Ben Huang, I killed Saint Master. This is too satisfying. In the future, when I go out, I will say that Ben Huang drowned a Saint Master. At that time, who would dare to provoke me? Black Mountain pulled the crimson dragon to the side. Enough! You Rizalong. Stop bragging. Hurry up and let this boy accept the world soul. Otherwise, if other people discover us, we won't be able to escape. Holy sh*T. Boy, hurry up. The crimson dragon also remembered the important matter. Lin Xian grabbed the water-shaped seed and entered the great sage pagoda. Let's go. The crimson dragon and Black Mountain also entered the great sage pagoda. Riding on it, they broke through the void and quickly flew away. At the same time, the Rain Clan's people were still in a deadlock with the Demon Palace's people. The Rain Clan's people relied on the powerful natural laws and their control over the world to suppress the Demon Palace's people. This caused the Demon Palace's people to be in a disadvantageous position. The Demon Palace's people didn't fight back. Instead, they were stalling for time. However, at this time, the countless divine chains of order in the sky slowly disappeared and turned into primal chaos. What's going on? What happened? The Rain Clan's people were stupefied. They felt that their control over the world was weakening. Their strength bonuses were decreasing. What's going on? Could it be that something unexpected happened? The Demon Palace's people were stupefied. They felt that they were being suppressed, and that suppression was rapidly disappearing. Their true strength had finally returned. It seemed that they had succeeded. Those Saint Venerable smiled. The demon overlord also had a smile on his face. Did they succeed? He sent out a small team. Presumably, they should have found the world soul, right? Perhaps they had already broken the connection between the world soul and Yu. Humph. Let's see how you are going to die this time." The demon overlord's eyes burst out with biting, cold-killing intent. He didn't know that the team he sent out was ruthlessly exterminated before they even discovered the location of the world soul. Chapter 3785. Therefore, this misjudgment allowed Lin Xian and the others to gain some time to escape. The people of the Rain clan also panicked. The complexions of those Saint Venerables completely changed. Not good. Our control over the world has disappeared. It seems like there is a problem with the world soul. Quickly go down. We must not let the world soul have any problems. It is very likely that the people of the Devil Palace did this. These people roared crazily. Several small saints tore open the ground, wanting to enter. However, on the other side, the people of the Devil Palace really launched an attack. "Where do you think you are going? Kill them for me." He still thought that it was his subordinate who had control over the world soul. Naturally, he would not allow these people of the Rain clan to destroy it. "Get lost!" The Saint Venerables of the Rain clan roared. The battle broke out again. This time, it was incomparably bitter. Originally, these Saint Venerables relied on the abnormal phenomenon of heaven and earth to preserve a portion of their strength. After all, they wanted to preserve a portion of their lives. However, they could not care about anything now. If they lost control over the world, their end would be very miserable. Therefore, at this moment, these people were fighting with their lives on the line. The eyes of the people of the Devil Palace were also red. They felt that victory was in sight, especially the incarnation of the Devil Overlord. He had an expression of victory. Naturally, he also attacked with his full strength. Both sides fought fiercely. At this time, Lin Xian and the others had already escaped from this world and arrived in the outer space. Should they stay here and watch the show? The Crimson Dragon was somewhat impatient because he had already discovered that the battle below was incomparably bitter. Clearly, the two sides had fought until their eyes were red. Black Mountain said, "It was better to leave. The thing that this brat had was something that even Saint Kings would covet. He could not leak the news, otherwise he would undoubtedly die." They withdrew the great sage pagoda and entered the black earth, flying toward the distant starfield. As long as he left this battlefield and entered a random world, he would silently refine it before coming out. No one would know about it. Get lost. In the distance, the two Saint Venerables of the Rain clan roared. They brandished their Autumn Mountain Rain sword and directly cut a Saint Venerable into two. However, they were also hit by the demon Overlord's palm, which sent them flying. The two of them vomited blood. The Devil Overlord carried a Sun-grade Saint artifact and attacked. Finally, Shao Qin defeated a Holy Venerate. Furthermore, that Holy Venerate was a living fossil. Previously, the Holy Venerate's life force was already very low. It was like a lamp that had run out of oil and could be extinguished at any moment. "I can't hold on any longer. I'll self-destruct and try my best to hold on to one of them. Furthermore, I'll give you guys time to hurry." He hurriedly went down to take a look. What exactly was the problem? The power on the living fossil's body became more and more chaotic, and the laws were dazzling. The people of the Rain clan were in despair. This was really their ancestor. At this moment, he was actually going to self-destruct. This was unacceptable to them. With a loud explosion, a Holy Venerate self-detonated. That terrifying power swept toward the Fiend Palace. Not good. The Demon Palaces, people screamed as if they had gone mad. The other party unexpectedly blew himself up. He was truly a madman. They roared madly, but it was already too late. That was a Saint Venerable. When he was still alive, he could shake the world. At this moment, he was self-destructing with no regard for anything else. This power was enough to destroy the world. Fortunately, this Rain clan Saint Venerable cherished his own world and directed the power above the 9 heavens. Otherwise, this world would definitely be torn apart by this attack. However, even with that being the case, the saints of the Fiend Palace were still falling in droves. Their bodies were blasted into bloody mist, no longer existing. As for those small saints, they were torn apart. Only their souls managed to escape. Even those holy venerates were struck by the attack. They were all seriously injured and started vomiting blood. The demon master used his sun-grade saint artifact to defend himself. His long black blade he fought in all directions. However, he was still unable to defeat all of the attack's power. He was also injured. The radiance on his body became much dimmer than before. It could be said that this attack had seriously injured the people of the Fiend Palace. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the people of the Rain clan tore open the earth and arrived below. The two holy venerates saw that the bronze coffin below had been opened by someone. Their ancestor was dumbstruck. He had an appearance of being unable to die in peace. Immediately, they all knelt down. "Ancestor!" The people of the Rain clan were crying and shouting. As for the two holy venerates, their eyes had turned red. Where was the world soul? Damn it! Why was the world soul gone? They had chiseled the coffin from top to bottom. They had even searched the entire world. However, they were still unable to find it. Where was the world soul? Humph! Are you looking for the world soul? It's useless. It no longer belongs to your Rain clan. It's mine. In the sky, the demon master revealed a malevolent smile. Although the attack just now had caused them to suffer disastrous losses. However, so what? He was about to obtain a world soul. It was enough to make up for his losses. Damn it! It was really you guys who played tricks. Below, the experts of the Rain clan raised their heads to look at the sky. Their eyes were emitting biting, cold-killing intent. "I hate you guys." They were surging with killing intent. They wished they could tear the other party apart. The demon master sneered. "It was me who did it. So what? Aren't you angry and sullen? You want to kill me? Unfortunately, you don't have the ability to do so. You can't even defeat one of my incarnations, let alone my real body. Wait until I refine the world soul. Let's see who in the world can still be my opponent." The demon master faced the sky and laughed wildly. At this moment, the people of the second heavenly realm were shocked. Damn it! The demon master actually had this idea. They were actually deceived by him. The complexions of some people of the holy city were also incomparably gloomy. They also discovered that a peerless enemy had appeared. Previously, it was rumored that the demon master would soon break through and become a saint king. He was a powerful threat to the holy city. It was very possible that the demon palace would evolve into a holy city in the future. However, they also knew that even if the demon master became a saint king, his foundation would still be incomparable to theirs. The current holy city had been passed down for tens of thousands of years. Even the youngest peerless city controlled many worlds. But what about the demon palace? Although it was one of the overlords of the demon planet, it didn't truly control the world. This was the gap, an irreparable gap. They didn't expect that the demon master would actually obtain a world soul. If he used this world soul as a foundation to expand, he would definitely become a colossus in the future. This demon master was truly an ambitious and ruthless person. That's right. On the surface, he was taking revenge for his son. But secretly, he wanted to seize a world soul. It was truly a good scheme. It was over. It seemed that even the holy city couldn't stop the rise of the demon palace. This time, the Rain clan was truly doomed. Countless discussions rang out. The demon master was very pleased with himself. He waved his hand. "Come out." He was summoning his subordinates. He wanted to refine the world soul in front of the Rain clan. However, after his voice faded, no one came out. This caused everyone to be stunned. What was going on? What was going on? The people of the demon palace were also stunned. Could it be that an accident had occurred? A small saint frowned. The demon master's expression sank. "Why didn't you come out?" He shouted coldly. Countless lightning bolts streaked across the sky. As long as you were in this world soul, you would definitely be able to hear this sound. However, no one came out. This scene caused everyone to be even more shocked. Could it be that an accident had occurred? This was impossible. The Rain clan had already lost the world soul. What accident could have occurred? Chapter 3786. Where they? Hurry up and come out. Don't let the palace master get angry. The experts in the surroundings also bellowed furiously. However, not a single person came out. At this moment, the people of the Fiend Palace were completely alarmed. The Fiend Overlord's complexion also darkened. Could it be that his subordinates ran away with the treasure? Thinking of such a possibility, he was driven mad with anger. Damn it! Who dared to betray him? In the outer space, the people watching the battle also cried out in alarm. What was going on? No one came out. Could it be that the Fiend Overlord was really betrayed? That was possible. After all, that was a world soul. Who wouldn't covet it? One after another, discussions could be heard. The people of the Rain clan were also furious. They were also frantically searching for the world soul. Right now, they didn't have the time to mock the Fiend Overlord. They had to quickly find the world soul. The Fiend Overlord was also personally searching for the world soul. In the sky, a pair of fiend eyes swept through the surroundings, covering every corner of the world. However, he still didn't discover his subordinates. But soon he bellowed furiously. His palm directly covered the ground, creating a crack. Within the cracks, soil was churning and rocks were jumping about. There was also blood and bones buried within the cracks. Dead. The experts of the Fiend Palace were dumbstruck when they sensed the aura above. The Fiend Overlord also bellowed furiously. Damn it! Who is it? Who dares to attack my subordinates? Get the hell out here! He bellowed crazily, and the long blade in his hand chopped down. This time, countless cracks appeared in the sky, and the ground kept sinking. Everyone was so scared that they started shivering. At the same time, their hearts were beating wildly. What was going on? Could it be that an expert had secretly made a move? Had the world's soul been snatched away? Who was it? Who was so daring to set themselves against the Fiend Overlord? It couldn't be a holy city, right? For a moment, many people were whispering to each other. The several holy cities were also extremely shocked. They were certain that it wasn't them who had done it. However, they didn't know whether it was someone else who had done it or not. For a moment, these holy cities were also discussing with each other. But soon they were dumbfounded. That was because they discovered that it really wasn't a holy city. Who was it then? At this moment, everyone was curious. Who was it that was so daring? The Fiend Overlord was so angry that his whole body trembled. He was so angry that he vomited blood. Thinking back to how arrogant and high-spirited he was before, he wanted to refine the world's soul in front of the Rain clan. He also wanted to announce to the world that he, the Demon Lord, had come and was going to rule the world. But now he had been ruthlessly slapped in the face. His subordinates had been quietly killed by someone, and the world's soul had been snatched away. What was even more infuriating was that he didn't even know who his opponent was. As the overlord of a region, the Demon Lord had never been so humiliated before. The people from the Rain clan gnashed their teeth in anger. As expected, they had lost the world soul. Their greatest reliance was gone. Although they didn't know who had stolen it, they had placed their hatred on the Demon Palace. This was because they were all from the Fiend Palace. If the Fiend Palace did not attack them, how could they lose their world souls? Damn it! Kill them? The people of the Rain clan roared crazily. At this moment, the evil demon overlord was also furious. Kill them all. Kill all these Rain technique people. I want to bathe Double Rainstar in blood. The war started again and lasted for nearly half a year. In the end, the peak power of the Rain clan was completely wiped out, and the remaining 2 Saint Venerables were killed. Without a leader, the Rain clan was completely finished. Although the demon palace had also suffered disastrous losses, with many Saint Venerables and small saints dying, the number of Saint Venerables was still too great. There were countless saints, but the demon overlord's avatar was still alive. He led the remaining forces and swept through all 4 directions. The Rain clan was finished. In outer space, the people who were watching the war shook their heads and sighed. There was no suspense anymore. The people of the Wind Spirit Star also withdrew. Previously, they had joined hands, but now the Rain clan was completely finished. They would not continue to fight with their lives on the line. Therefore, these people began to withdraw, and even left with their king spirits. On the other side, the people of the Rain clan were getting more and more. Yu Shirchia stood in the sea of blood and mountains of corpses. Her eyes were numb. She had never thought that the clan that had been at its peak would end up like this. Shirchia, quickly climb up the altar! The remaining elders of the Rain clan roared crazily. Yu Shirchia was pushed onto the altar. Immediately, the blood in the surroundings began to circulate crazily. Even the power of the Saint Venerables, after their deaths, surged into Yu Shirchia's body. We have awakened your bloodline. Now, you are the one with the most powerful bloodline in our Rain clan. Quickly leave. As long as you are alive, the Rain clan still has hope. The people of the Rain clan forcefully sent Yu Shirchia away. Then, everyone of the Rain clan was killed. Mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Ghosts wailed and wolves howled. A world-class clan was annihilated. The shock caused by this was absolutely earth-shaking. The second astral realm was completely stirred up. Everyone was spreading the news. Everyone was discussing the battle that had just taken place. Of course, there was also that mysterious person. The Demon Palace had occupied the Double Rain planet. At the same time, the Demon Overlord had issued a universal arrest warrant. He was chasing after Yu Shirchia. He was chasing after the person who had seized the world soul. No matter where the other party fled to, he would definitely tear the other party into pieces. This storm was still ongoing. Lin Xian and the others had already arrived at a remote and declining small world. They went down and completely concealed themselves. Lin Xian was currently fusing with the world soul with all his strength. This process was very slow. It took more than a year. Spring came and autumn went. Winter came and summer went. In this year, too many things had happened in the second astral realm. The Demon Palace had taken over the Double Rain planet. However, later on, other forces forcefully interfered. Those holy cities also wanted a share of the pie. They all set up camp on the Double Rain planet and began to divide the resources. However, they could only divide the resources on the surface. As for the world soul, this kind of thing that even Saint Kings would be jealous of, they couldn't obtain it. Yu Shirchia had completely disappeared. No one knew where she went. As for that mysterious powerhouse, he seemed to have never appeared. Until now, they hadn't found any clues. They didn't even know who the other party was. This made the Demon Palace go crazy with anger. Especially the Demon Overlord, he almost went crazy. On this day, Lin Xian woke up. He opened his eyes, and the corners of his mouth raised into a smile. He had already begun the initial fusion. The following fusion didn't require him to deliberately control it. As time passed, he would become more and more familiar with it. This feeling was really too wonderful. He had a mysterious connection with the world. With a thought, he could even control the heaven and earth phenomenon of that world. He was like a god, controlling the laws of heaven and earth. "All right, how's the situation outside?" After Lin Xian came out, he asked. The Crimson Dragon and Black Mountain had been inquiring about the news. Even the Northern Demon had come out. He had almost recovered. In fact, his cultivation had even gone up a level. At this moment, he had already reached the second heavenly layer. Chapter 3787. The Crimson Dragon came over and told him everything that happened these days. Lin Xian laughed heartily after listening. Ha ha ha, it was really cool. The Rain clan was finally destroyed. Although a few ants ran out, they couldn't do anything at all. The Rain clan was finally finished. The clan that once hunted him was now gone. The spirit sealing star also suffered heavy losses and retreated to recuperate. The Fiend Palace also suffered heavy losses, especially the Fiend Overlord. He was so angry that he almost went mad. After hearing this news, Lin Xian was even happier. Humph, they probably never dreamed that the world's soul would be taken away by him in the end. Are you saying that those people want to divide the Double Rain planet? Humph, how can my world be divided by them? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Black Mountain said, Kid, don't be impulsive. Although you have fused with the world soul, your cultivation is still too weak. You can't be compared with those behemoths. Lin Xian nodded. He said, I naturally know about this matter. Don't worry, I won't show up, but I will let these people know the consequences of being greedy. Lin Xian began to urge the world's soul across the starry sky. At this moment, the Double Rain planet was really full of vicissitudes. The earth was cracked, and rivers of blood flowed. This was the blood of saints, and even the blood of small saints and Saint Venerables. How terrifying was that? It was estimated that it wouldn't be erased even after thousands of years. On the Double Rain planet, in addition to the Fiend Palace, the Thousand Demon City, Thunder God City, and other holy cities also entered. There were even some big families and sects that wanted to interfere. They were all competing for resources, snatching the spirit veins and dragon veins. However, on this day, the wind and clouds gathered. Above the sky, endless dark clouds swept over, and terrifying lightning fell. That was the lightning tribulation that could destroy the world. The earth rolled, and countless magma gushed out. Mudslides and storms were also constantly rushing. It was a scene of destruction. Damn it, what's going on? These laws of heaven and earth were not the scene in the eyes of ordinary people. They all carried the power of laws. Even if these people were saints, they were still injured. Who is it? Who is playing with us? God, someone is controlling this world. It can't be. Is that person going to appear again? Everyone felt their blood run cold, as if they were facing a great enemy. When the Demon Palace's people received the news, they even sent holy venerables to suppress the surroundings. However, they still couldn't find anyone. This made them mad with anger. Over the next few days, terrifying images of heaven and earth would descend from time to time. In the end, everyone knew that this was the mysterious powerhouse punishing them. The other party was controlling a world and fighting against them, but they couldn't catch it at all. The people on the Double Rain planet were extremely depressed. In the end, they even restrained themselves and did not dare to be impudent anymore. In the distant starry sky, Lin Xian coldly snorted and withdrew his palm. He was just giving these people a small punishment first. When he was stronger in the future, he would descend again. At that time, he would see who would dare to touch his world. Kid, where are we going next? The Crimson Dragon asked. After fighting for more than a year and comprehending for more than a year, it has been almost 2 years, almost 3 years. Senior, apprentice Brother Hongya said that he would definitely take me to planet Tianming in 3 years. Now that I think about it, it's about time I left. Let's head to planet Tianming. Let's go. The group set off. At the same time, the major sects and major holy cities of the second astral world also started to move. Those geniuses started to move, preparing to head to planet Tianming. Because this was a world that only opened once every 500 years. There was a strange opportunity inside. If they missed this opportunity, they might have to wait another 500 years. No one could afford to wait, because one had to be below the minor saint realm to enter the heart of planet Tianming. Some geniuses would probably break through in 500 years. Then they wouldn't have the qualifications to enter in their lifetime. Celestial fate was an extremely important star to be able to find one's own fate and future path. They flew all the way, even using spatial jumps and teleportation. Finally, they arrived at planet Tianming. At this moment, planet Tianming was incomparably mysterious. It was surrounded by a chaotic aura, making it impossible to see what was inside. Because the opening time had not yet arrived, everyone could only wait. There were 4 moons near planet Tianming. Those who had just arrived at these 4 moons, waiting for the final moment. These 4 moons were also extraordinary, so I think it's better for everyone to find one and enter. When we reach planet Tianming, we will meet again. Heishan said in a deep voice. Really? How extraordinary is it? Let Ben Huang take a look. The Crimson Dragon stared for a long time, but he couldn't see anything. Lin Xian was surprised. He asked, Heishan, have you been to planet Tianming before? Heishan used to be a great saint, so he should have been here before. Heishan looked at the mysterious planet in the distance and said indifferently, it had been too long, and he couldn't remember clearly. Damn, only a ghost would believe that. Lin Xian rolled his eyes. The Crimson Dragon also said, don't be so stingy. Heishan glanced at the 2 of them. Some paths could be taken through shortcuts, but some paths had to be walked on by oneself. Planet Tianming is your chance. Feel it well. Heishan laughed and pointed at a moon in the distance. Disciple, go to that moon. Yes, master. The northern demon was very respectful. He had already become Heishan's disciple. He said, Brother Lin, Ruslan, I'll take my leave first. His body flashed, and he flew towards the moon in the distance. Can't you let your disciple go by himself? He has just recovered, and his cultivation has fallen behind a lot. He's only at level 2. Aren't you afraid that he'll be killed? So what if he's at level 2? My disciple is easy to bully. Heishan waved his hand, not caring at all. Lin Xian was also relieved. Heishan's words meant that he was very confident. All right, let's each find a moon and go down. Each of the 4 moons had their own unique characteristics. Even their colors were different. The moon that Lin Xian entered was a cyan moon. After going down, he realized that the moon wasn't small. There are many strong people inside, and they must be the geniuses from the various holy lands. As soon as he came down, Lin Xian discovered something interesting. This was because he saw a familiar face. Lei Chong. At this moment, Lei Chong was really proud of himself. He was riding an extraordinary demon beast, and there were many followers beside him. There were disciples from the holy city, as well as geniuses from other clans. There were even countless beauties chasing after him. He was really high-spirited. Young Master Lei is too strong. That's right. I couldn't understand that mystique even after 10 years. Some of the followers started to flatter him. As for the girls, their eyes were shining. They couldn't wait to marry Lei Chong. Lei Chong raised his head and listened to the conversations around him. He was really enjoying it, but soon he frowned, and there was even anger in his eyes. That was because he realized that there was a familiar figure in front of him. Chapter 3788. Damn, brat, it's you. This is impossible. Lei Chong screamed. He almost fell off the back of the demonic beast. Because he was too shocked, it was as if he had seen a ghost. The followers around him were all stunned. What's going on, young Master Lei? Their faces were filled with shock as they turned to look at Lin Xian. Their eyes were filled with doubt. Who is this guy? How could he let young Master Lei off? They were so scared. One of the followers glanced at Lin Xian's cultivation and smiled. Don't worry, young master. He's just a 4th heavenly layer. I'll take him down for you. He walked over with a cold smile. Just as he was about to say something, he was sent flying by Lin Xian's slap. Half of his body exploded into a bloody mist. So powerful? The followers were stunned. Who is this guy? Isn't he too strong? Lei Chong was still in shock. Impossible. Are you a human or a ghost? Lin Xian sneered. What's wrong? You're just a loser. You don't even recognize me? Loser. Young Master Lei was actually defeated by this guy. The followers around him were completely stunned. Impossible. Brat, you're talking nonsense. The followers screamed. How could their idol be defeated? Especially when he was defeated by a fourth heavenly layer. This was simply unimaginable. This brat must be bragging. That's right. Young Master Lei, please beat him up. Young Master Lei, you must teach him a lesson. The beauties were also screaming at the side. Lei Chang's face was incomparably ugly. Looking at these followers, this was the first time he wanted to slap them to death. To be honest, he didn't want to do it now, because the scene in front of him was just too strange. Wasn't this guy killed by 10 minor saints? How could he still appear here? If he was still alive, what did that mean? How strong was he to be able to escape from 10 minor saints? And in the end, he was still alive while the 10 minor saints were dead. What happened in the middle? Thinking of this possibility, he felt that his scalp was about to explode. Lin Xian smiled. You guys should stop screaming. Didn't you see his face turn green when he saw me? You don't even dare to make a move. Damn it. Damn it. I don't believe it. Those followers screamed crazily. Is this the genius they followed? Why was he so timid? Young Master Lei, please make a move. These people shouted angrily again. Lei Chang's face was gloomy. This matter would probably spread out. If he didn't do anything, and these people spread the news, he would become a laughingstock. Moreover, his strength had increased greatly. He was much stronger than before. He felt that he would not lose to the other party again, although he still did not understand how the other party was able to survive. Brat, I don't know how you survived, but you still dare to appear in front of me. You're courting death. Fine, I'll send you to heaven today. Lei Chong walked down from the back of the demonic beast. He walked forward. That's great. Young Master Lei has made his move. Young Master Lei would definitely be able to kill the other party easily. That brat is dead for sure. The followers around him were excited. They widened their eyes and wanted to watch Mr. Lei display his skills. Are you sure you want to fight me? Lin Xian sneered as he looked at his opponent. Why wouldn't I dare? Today, I will prove to you my true strength. Lei Chong shouted angrily as he waved his fists. Thunderstorm filled the sky. The surrounding Dao roared as lightning struck and engulfed Lin Xian. The terrifying power seemed to be able to destroy the world. That's terrifying. Even someone of the same cultivation level would not be able to withstand such power. That brat's cultivation level is so low. He will definitely die. His followers sneered again and again. That's right. After so many years, you haven't improved at all. Your lightning can't even scratch an itch for me. A voice came from the sea of lightning. Still alive? That's impossible. Those followers were completely stunned. Even a fifth celestial layer sage would have been killed by such violent lightning. How could a fourth celestial layer sage still be alive? Lei Chang's eyes narrowed. Thunderstorm. With a roar, the sky was filled with lightning. The destructive power was even stronger than before. He should be dead now, right? The crowd sneered. Amidst the endless lightning, a figure walked out. He was glowing like a golden god of war. He was unscathed. As I said, how dare a loser like you be so arrogant in front of me? You really don't know what's good for you. You're not dead yet? Those followers were stunned. Lei Chang's face also turned ugly. There was a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. Since you dare to be arrogant in front of me, you have to bear the consequences of your arrogance. Lin Xian walked out, clenched his fist, and threw a punch. The golden fist covered the sky and covered the earth. With a bang, Lei Chong wanted to dodge, but he was hit by the fist and his body was torn apart. Ah! He screamed miserably. The other party could blow him up with one punch. It was too terrifying. He roared, wanting to recover and escape. However, the power of that punch was not over yet. After Lin Xian broke through to level 4, his strength was much stronger than before. Therefore, the power of that punch was far beyond everyone's imagination. Sure enough, Lei Chong's body that had just recovered was shattered again under the light of the fist. Not only that, the fist carried an aura that could destroy everything, causing Lei Chong's soul to crack. In the end, the endless golden light scattered, tearing Jiang Lei Chong's soul into pieces. His body was also shattered into pieces. One punch, and Lei Chong was dead, unable to withstand a single blow. Lin Xian sneered and shook his head. Those followers were stunned. How could it be? Young Master Lei was dead, killed with one punch. Heavens! They sucked in a breath of cold air. Their faces were filled with fear. That was Lei Chong, the genius of Thunder God City, a level 5 sage. He could even fight those above his level. But now he was killed by a level 4 person with one punch. This was simply unbelievable. Who was this person? They looked at Lin Xian, trembling. Coincidentally, Lin Xian's gaze also looked over. He said calmly, "Who among you is not convinced?" Pung pung pung. Those followers knelt on the ground. "Hero, please spare us." Lin Xian looked at these people and sneered. "Oh, weren't you all arrogant before? Let me see. What qualifications do you have to be arrogant?" He took a step forward, and the aura on his body exploded. Ah, those people fainted when they felt the aura. Humph, a bunch of trash. Lin Xian shook his head. Too weak, he was not interested. He turned around and left. When those people woke up and realized that they were still alive, they were so excited that they cried. They decided that they would not be followers anymore. This world was too terrifying. There were too many hidden experts. Let's go quickly. These people dispersed in a hubbub. However, some of them used a formation to record the process of the battle and spread it out. Suddenly, the entire moon was boiling. Chapter 3789. Have you heard? Lei Chong was killed. Who? Lei Chong? Are you kidding me? That's right. Which idiot spread the news? Do you know who Lei Chong is? Some people sneered, not believing it at all. He was a genius of the Holy City, a 5th heavenly layer expert who could fight across realms. Who could kill him? However, when more and more news came, and even the images of the battle were sent back, these people could no longer stay calm. What? Lei Chong was really killed? Tianya, who did it? He was killed by a 4th heavenly layer expert. How could this be possible? They were all stunned. If Lei Chong was killed by a minor saint, they felt that it was very possible. But he was killed by a 4th heavenly layer expert. What the hell was this? Could it be that Lei Chong fell into someone's trap? Discussions broke out one after another. At the same time, an even more terrifying news came, causing the entire moon to explode. Do you know? Someone killed Lei Chong with a single punch. Who is so powerful? I heard that it's a 4th heavenly layer expert. Don't you know? His name is Lin Wudi. He's from Wushuang City. Is he the new chief disciple of the 3rd generation? I know him. That's not right. Didn't they say that he died on the Fiend Star? He hasn't appeared for so many years. How is he still alive? As soon as the news came out, the crowd was in an uproar, especially some of the geniuses of the Holy City. They were very well informed. They knew that Lin Xian died on the Fiend Star, killed by 10 minor saints. But now he was alive again. What was going on? After the people of Thunder God City learned about it, they couldn't stay calm. What was going on? Lei Chong was dead, and Lin Wudi was alive again. Damn it. The 10 minor saints were dead, but he was still alive. Investigate. We must find out what's going on. The people of Demon City also screamed crazily. White-eyed demon saint, Shuei and the others looked incomparably dignified. The people of Golden Crow tribe were even more shocked. For a moment, many people were frantically trying to find out what was going on. Lin Xian's resurrection and sudden appearance had caused some people to feel uneasy. They must find out, is he dead or not? Who's playing tricks on us? At the moment, Lin Xian was extremely carefree. He condensed a cloud and sat on it, drinking spirit wine as he looked down. He wanted to see if there were any good spirit veins that were suitable for temporary residence. This lake is not bad. Crescent Moon Lake? Lin Xian stopped, looking down from this direction. There was a crescent-shaped lake below, sparkling with light. There was also a mysterious light. Moon essence, not bad, go down and feel it. Lin Xian dived into the crescent moon lake. Waves rose from the lake, forming ripples that spread in all directions. However, they soon calmed down. Princess, this moon is indeed extraordinary. In the mountain range, a team was moving quickly. They were all riding powerful, demonic beasts. At the very front, there was a beautiful woman wearing a long green dress that covered her face. In between their eyebrows, there was a crescent moon. They were from the New Moon clan. They were naturally related to the moon. Therefore, at this moment, when these people came to the moon, the first thing they did was to look for the essence of the moon. Finally, the group of people stopped. The green-robed woman riding the unicorn in front of her turned her gaze to the front. The little handmaiden next to her exclaimed, "Princess, this place is not bad. The moon essence here is very rich." Gao Yu looked at the crescent moon lake in front of her and smiled. She nodded slightly. "Then I'll cultivate here first." "Princess, you have to cultivate. Hurry up and set up a defense line," the little handmaiden shouted. Immediately, the people at the back got down from their demonic beasts and began to set up a defense line. Someone set up a formation. Someone was guarding in the distance. In short, everything within 100,000 miles was cleared. Even some demonic beasts were directly thrown out. "Princess, I'm not far away. If there's anything, call for me." The little handmaiden also retreated to a few thousand miles away. In front of the crescent moon lake, only the woman in the green dress was left. The girl took off the veil on her face, revealing a beautiful face. She began to take off her long dress and then jumped into the crescent moon lake. The crescent moon lake rippled as the girl played in it. Outside, she was an incomparably cold princess, but she also had the mood of a young girl. Now that there was no one around, she naturally wanted to relax. Lin Xian was in the crescent moon lake, feeling the essence of the moon, and fell into deep thought. He cultivated the Taiji art, so he was very curious about this natural yin and yang power. His divine body belonged to the power of yang. In that case, the power of the moon should belong to the power of yin. If he could combine these two powers, then his Taiji art should be even more terrifying. Just as he was thinking, Lin Xian was suddenly stunned. Someone came in. Who was it? And it was near him. Damn it, he was so busy thinking about yin and yang that he didn't expect there to be someone here. There was a past in front of him. Damn, it can't be. She's at the bottom of the lake. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light, and he saw it clearly. He saw a naked woman frolicking in the water. Furthermore, she was rushing towards him. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth twitched slightly. This really had nothing to do with him, but he didn't close his eyes. Gao Yu was in a very good mood, and she was very satisfied. The essence of the moon here made her very comfortable. As she played, she swam towards the depths of the moon lake. Suddenly, she was stunned because she had bumped into something in the lake. What was it? Was it a monster? She snorted coldly, lowered her head, and dove into the water, wanting to kill the monster. But in the next moment, she was stunned. Her beautiful eyes widened in shock. She realized that it wasn't a sea monster below, but a man. A very young man whose eyes were emitting a golden light stared straight at her. Gao Yu's mind went blank. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Then she turned around, stuck her head out, and screamed. Damn it, why was there someone in the water? And it was a man. Why didn't she sense it? What was even more hateful was that this man was now staring straight at her, and she was not wearing anything. Didn't this mean that she had been seen all over by him, and for how long? Damn it! Damn it! She was stunned. She wanted to scream, but in the next moment her mouth was covered. At the same time, she felt a figure appear behind her. One hand wrapped around her waist, and the other covered her mouth. Chapter 3790. Don't make a sound, I didn't do it on purpose. Gao Yu was furious. She felt her entire body burning. A feeling that she had never felt before was rising from her body, as if she had been electrocuted. She felt that she was almost unable to use her strength. You didn't do it on purpose? Who would believe you? If you didn't do it on purpose, why did you hug me? If you didn't do it on purpose, why did you kiss me? Why did you peek from below and not come out? Gao Yu felt that her lungs were about to explode. At this moment, she had forgotten that she was an expert. Lin Xian was not feeling well either. He was a man with vigorous blood and qi. Now that he had such a beauty in his arms, and she was still trembling restlessly, it made his blood and qi churn. He said, "Don't move anymore. If you move again, don't blame me for being impolite." Hearing this, a hint of fear appeared in Gao Yu's eyes. In the next moment, she finally could not hold it in anymore. An extremely terrifying power emerged from her body. With a boom, the entire crescent lake exploded. Lin Xian was also sent flying by this power. "Damn it!" Gao Yu shouted and instantly took out a set of clothes from her storage ring and put it on. Her entire body was surrounded by a baleful aura as she looked into the distance. Die. A crescent sword appeared in her hand and she slashed forward. Her speed was very fast. In an instant, she appeared beside Lin Xian and slashed down with the crescent sword in her hand. Lin Xian was surprised. He did not expect this woman to be so strong. She was obviously a top genius. He did not dare to be careless. He formed a seal with both hands and shot out a 5-element ring, blocking the crescent sword. At the same time, he said, "Beauty, this is a misunderstanding. Listen to my explanation." Humph. Gao Yu was so angry that she gritted her teeth. Misunderstanding? Who would believe that? She kept attacking. On the long sword, laws flowed. She wanted to completely kill Lin Xian. Soon, she was shocked because she found that although the young man opposite her was flustered, he was not injured at all. He had blocked all her attacks. Damn it! How is this possible? Gao Yu was stunned. She was an extremely top genius. Moreover, her cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the 5th heaven. How powerful was that? It was unbelievable that the other party could contend with her. Wang! A new beam of moonlight appeared behind her and slashed forward. The void was instantly torn apart. A huge crack appeared in the space within 1,000,000 miles. At this moment, the surrounding people were all alarmed. Not good, there is danger. The young maidservant's complexion changed, and she took the lead to rush over. The next moment, she screamed, "Someone is attacking the princess." The martial artists in the surrounding area moved out crazily. There were even extremely terrifying auras that were fluctuating. It was the aura of a little saint. Lin Xian's expression changed. He hadn't expected this woman's identity to be so extraordinary. She actually had so many experts by her side. Moreover, there was more than one little saint. It seemed that he had to think of a way to leave quickly. He wanted to retreat, but the young girl shouted, "Where do you think you're going?" There was half moonlight all around, blocking his path. Lin Xian coldly snorted. Since he couldn't leave, he could only use another method. "My apologies." With a furious roar, he punched out in all directions, causing the new moonlight to tremble. At the same time, an extremely terrifying radiance erupted from his eyes. He used his eye technique. The young girl screamed in fright. Her soul was injured, and the crescent moon between her eyebrows also flickered, resisting the attack. However, at this moment, Lin Xian attacked again. He took a step forward and came to the side of the young girl. His big palms kept slapping, and the 5 elemental laws rushed out. Damn it! The young girl fought back, but she found that she was no match for him at all. She wanted to retreat, but Lin Xian used the soul fixation pearl to freeze her in place. She couldn't move at all. The next moment, she felt that he had come behind her and grabbed her neck with one hand. "Don't move!" Lin Xian roared, his voice resounding in all directions. At the same time, in the void near him, 2 figures walked out. They were 2 old men. Their faces were incomparably cold, and their auras were unusually powerful. They had both reached the little saint realm. The 2 little saints almost came to Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian also felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, he was decisive enough to attack. "Kid, how dare you!" "Quickly release our palace master." The 2 little saints roared crazily. Many cultivators appeared around them, densely packed, and shrouded this part of the world. Lin Xian frowned. Damn it! He had really provoked an incredible existence. He said that this was a misunderstanding. He didn't want to attack their princess, but they couldn't attack him either. Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding? The 2 elders frowned and looked at Gao Yu. Gao Yu was furious, but her whole body was sealed by the other party, especially the soul fixation pearl, which made her unable to move at all. She could only use her beautiful eyes to stare at the other party fiercely. "Since it's a misunderstanding, quickly release our princess." One of the little saints said coldly. "That won't do." Lin Xian shook his head. "You have so many people. If I release her, what if you attack me?" "Humph! My New Moon clan won't be so despicable." The old man snorted coldly, and his face sank completely. Lin Xian frowned. He had never heard of the New Moon clan, but he thought that it should be a very terrifying clan. Moreover, the aura of the other party seemed to be related to the moon. He said, "I don't know you, and I can't believe your words." "In order to protect myself, I can only take her away first. Don't worry, I won't hurt her, because I don't want to be your enemy. I just want to leave this place." Having said that, Lin Xian turned around and looked at the surroundings. "Get lost if you don't want anything to happen to her." He emitted an extremely terrifying killing intent. Damn it! The surrounding New Moon clan cultivators' faces were extremely ugly. When suddenly a little saint attacked. He tore through the void and attacked Lin Xian's head. Lin Xian felt that his glabella was about to split open. He shouted coldly, and an extremely terrifying golden light burst out from his eyes. Then he used the power of stellar transposition to change the direction of the light. With a clang, the void beside him was completely torn apart, and a bottomless black hole appeared. Damn it! Lin Xian's face was completely gloomy. His body emitted an extremely terrifying killing intent. "This is what you meant when you said that you won't attack me. You wanted to take my life just now. Did I fail?" The little saint's face changed. He was too shocked. He was a 6th level expert. His opponent was just a 4th level ant. He could kill him with just a flick of his finger. However, he failed. He didn't kill his opponent. Instead, he made his opponent want to kill him. He quickly said, "Don't be agitated. We won't attack you again. Quickly retreat and make a path. I hope you can do what you said. If you attack me again, I won't be merciful." Lin Xian took Gao Yu, and his figure flashed as he quickly soared into the sky. Chapter 3791. To be honest, Gao Yu was also shocked. Even their minor saint failed? Who was this person? How could he subdue her? He could even dodge the minor saint's attack. "Elder, are we really going to let him take the princess away? Will there be any danger?" The people of the New Moon clan were very anxious. The 2 elders' faces were gloomy. Don't worry. The princess is much stronger than we thought. She has a trump card, so there shouldn't be any danger. However, this kid is quite strange. He could actually dodge my attack. The minor saint's face was gloomy. Go and find out who he is. In front, Lin Xian escaped from the enemy's encirclement and flew all the way across the mountains and rivers. He felt that the distance was about right. Just when he was about to let go of the princess, a terrifying aura erupted from the girl in his arms, knocking the mind fixation pearl away. He was also pushed back. His blood and qi churned, and countless clanging sounds came from his body. The girl cried out and broke free from the restraint. She turned around and slammed her palm. It was a crescent-shaped palm. It slammed towards them, shattering the void within 1,000,000 miles. Obviously, the girl was angry. She used her trump card to break free from the restraint. Lin Xian was also surprised. This girl was much more terrifying than he imagined. He was afraid that she was far stronger than Lei Chong and the others. She shouldn't be someone from the holy city. She actually had such strength. It seemed like the second heavenly boundary was more mysterious and exciting than he imagined. Since you've escaped, you can leave. I don't want to fight you. Lin Xian said coldly. Lecher, I'm going to kill you. Gao Yu was trembling with anger. What kind of attitude was this? He looked at her body, but now he was in the right. Kill me? Lin Xian frowned. You're not my opponent. Moreover, I didn't mean to do this. I came to the Crescent Moon Lake first. Why didn't you check if there was anyone in the lake before you came? Therefore, you can't blame me for this. You can only blame yourself for being careless. Damn it, shut up! Gao Yu screamed. She was going crazy. She had never held a man's hand since she was young, let alone having her body seen. To her, this was a great humiliation. She had to kill this lecher. Whoa! She opened her mouth and spat out a white jade-like ruler, which she threw forward. The white jade-like ruler emitted overflowing laws as it constantly attacked. That terrifying aura caused the heavens and earth to crumble and everything to sink into oblivion. It was too terrifying. This was no ordinary ruler. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He used the Kuan Peng technique and dodged quickly. However, he realized that his opponent's attacks were getting colder and colder. They had completely enveloped the surrounding void. Furthermore, the aura emitted by the ruler was simply too terrifying. Even he was greatly astonished. This was an extremely frightening saint tool. He snorted coldly and struck out with his palm. Boom! The battle between the two shook the heavens and the earth. Lin Xian was greatly astonished. He had to admit that this young girl's strength was really strong, exceeding his expectations. As for Gao Yu, she was even more shocked. Her weapon was called the Heaven Measuring Ruler. It was rumored that it could even pierce a hole in the sky. However, she couldn't do anything to him. What shocked her even more was that he was fighting her barehanded. What kind of physique was that? Was it comparable to a saint artifact? Beauty, enough is enough. If you attack again, don't blame me for being impolite. Don't be so arrogant. I'll take you down now. Gao Yu screamed as her palms continued to form seals. The heaven measuring ruler emitted an unparalleled aura that constantly changed. It was as if the sky was pressing down. That heavy aura made experts of the fifth celestial layer tremble. Lin Xian also frowned. He had to admit that this saint tool was truly terrifying. He roared angrily as he opened the sky with both hands. Like a war god who split the heavens and earth, he held up the heaven measuring ruler. With a roar, he sent the heaven measuring ruler flying. At the same time, he formed a seal with his palms and transformed into a 5 elements mountain. Boundless rays of light shot towards Gao Yu. An extremely terrifying battle broke out. Gao Yu was filled with killing intent. Lin Xian was also furious. With a roar, he rushed over again. Since she wanted to fight, he would suppress her again. In an instant, he arrived beside Gao Yu. This time, Gao Yu did not panic. Instead, the corners of her mouth curled up into a sneer. Lin Xian felt his heart beating wildly. There was danger, and he moved sideways. The void where he was originally at suddenly broke open, and the heaven-measuring ruler rushed out again. This ruler was capable of creating clones. Lin Xian was too shocked. Damn it, he was almost fooled. If he was hit, he would probably be injured. Lin Xian was also angry. Since that was the case, he would no longer hold back. He pulled out the spear of great destruction and slashed down with all his might. Boom! Boom! This time, the heaven-measuring ruler was sent flying. At the same time, Lin Xian used stellar transposition and swept away all the other party's attacks. He activated the Tai Chi art, and an extremely terrifying aura enveloped the other party. A Tai Chi diagram restrained the other party. Damn it! Gao Yu screamed as the crescent moon between her brows emitted a mysterious light. A crescent moon appeared behind her. The crescent moon rotated and cut through the void like a scimitar. Lin Xian used void escape and completely dodged. He did not attack again. Instead, he was ready to leave. All right, little girl, you can't catch me. I don't want to fight with you anymore. Goodbye. After saying that, Lin Xian turned around and tried to leave. It was not that he couldn't defeat the other party, but the other party's identity was not ordinary. There were two minor saints beside her. If they attacked again at this time, it would be difficult for him to leave. You want to leave? Stay. Lecher, I won't let you go. Gao Yu chased after Lin Xian. She thought that Lin Xian was afraid. She activated the shadow of the crescent moon and charged over. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He used void escape and disappeared in an instant. He appeared beside Gao Yu and pinched her face. Do you really think I can't defeat you? Ah. Gao Yu let out a sharp cry as if she was struck by lightning. Lin Xian laughed heartily as he disappeared into the void. Damn it! He dared to take advantage of her again. Gao Yu's lungs were about to explode. She wanted to kill him. At this time the void was torn apart, and two figures walked out in an instant. Princess, are you all right? They were the two minor saints. When they heard Gao Yu scream, they thought that something had happened and quickly rushed over. Gao Yu's face darkened. Her body kept heaving up and down. She tried hard to control herself. It's fine. You can't do anything to me. Find out who that kid is and tell me. I won't let him go. Gao Yu left in a huff. She had made 2 hours of confusion. They had carefully checked Gao Yu. She was not injured. Could it be that she had suffered some losses? How could they know that Gao Yu had been taken advantage of twice, and it was an unspeakable advantage? How could she not be angry? Chapter 3792. Although Gao Yu wasn't injured, the news still spread. Some of the geniuses from the New Moon clan were enraged. What was going on? Their princess was being bullied, and it was in the lake. What could have happened? They didn't dare to imagine. Damn it, who was it? Find out. They were furious and quickly investigated. Someone really did find some clues. Let's go and kill that kid. A few of the geniuses from the New Moon clan moved quickly. They didn't call the older generation experts because they felt that they alone were enough to kill the kid. When they brought the other party's head to see the princess would probably favor them a lot. Lin Xian had left for good. He opened up a cave in the mountain and prepared to rest while waiting for the opening of the celestial star. However, the following days were not going to be peaceful. Soon, someone came to the door and yelled, "Damn kid, get the hell out here." Someone outside shouted crazily. This mountain range was a spiritual vein. There were many caves in the surrounding mountains. They were all opened up by the geniuses. Like Lin Xian, they were waiting for the opening of the celestial star. When they felt the energy fluctuation, they all poked their heads out to take a look. Who was it? Some people were unhappy that someone had dug a cave here. They wanted to scold the person. After all, this was their resting place. However, when they saw the jade pendant on the person's body, they were all stunned. The people from the New Moon clan were so scared that they shrank their necks and retreated. The New Moon clan was a terrifying clan. They didn't dare to offend them. Moreover, it was a few geniuses from the New Moon clan who dared to offend the New Moon clan. Did they have a death wish? Lin Xian opened his eyes and frowned. He had just rested for 2 days and someone had already come to cause trouble. I'll give you a chance to live. Scram or I'll kill you. Lin Xian didn't come out. Instead, he said coldly. The voice came from inside the cave and echoed around the cave. The people around were stunned when they heard it. Oh my heavens, what kind of person lives in this cave? He was so strong that he didn't put the New Moon clan in his eyes. Was he a genius from the sacred city? But even a genius from the sacred city wouldn't dare to be rude to the New Moon clan. Where did this ferocious person come from? Or was he just an idiot who didn't know anything? The geniuses from the New Moon clan were furious. Damn kid, get the hell out here. We're from the New Moon clan. If you don't come out, we'll torture you to pieces. Buzz! Lin Xian walked out of the cave. When the genius of the New Moon clan saw Lin Xian, he sneered. Kid, you finally came out. Kneel down obediently and let us chop off your head and bring it to the princess as an apology. That's right, you don't know what's good for you. How dare you offend our princess? Cold shouts rang out one after another. The surrounding people had all gone crazy. Not only did this person offend the New Moon clan, but he also offended the New Moon clan's princess. Did he want to die? The New Moon clan T-Test-S-S, the clan T-Test, T-T-T-T-S-A prodigy from the New Moon clan roared and attacked. He raised his hand, and a crescent moon flew out. It continued to grow in size and radiated with boundless laws. It pressed forward. This was an extremely frightening law. The moment he attacked, he displayed an unparalleled might. The surrounding mountains continued to collapse. The earth was shattered. Run! The people nearby retreated frantically. They had not expected the people of the New Moon clan to be so strong. Humph! Lin Xian coldly snorted. Golden light burst out from his eyes. He raised his palm, which was covered with a biting cold light, as if it was a peerless sword light. He struck out with his palm and met the crescent moon. With a boom, the two collided, and the crescent moon trembled nonstop. Lin Xian's palm, on the other hand, exploded with an unparalleled radiance. With a single palm, he shattered the crescent moon. At the same time, he let out a long howl and stretched out his hand, grabbing forward and instantly enveloping the young man. He was so powerful that the surrounding people were all stunned. The young man also roared. Damn it, get lost! He kept attacking, but he realized that he could not break free from Lin Xian's palm. Soon he was caught by Lin Xian's palm and was completely enveloped. Damn it, let our man go! When the other two young men saw this, they were completely enraged. Is he that strong? It was completely beyond their expectations. Let you go? Lin Xian sneered. I've already given you a chance, but you didn't cherish it. Now you want to leave? Do you really think that you can be so unscrupulous and crush others just because you're from the New Moon clan? It won't work here. Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand and struck out the 5-finger mountain, completely suppressing the young man. Damn it, he's injured. The other two men roared. One of them charged towards Lin Xian, while the other rushed towards the 5-element mountain, wanting to save his comrade. Buzz! Lin Xian waved his hand, and endless sword qi flew out. It was like a vast ocean, completely enveloping the two of them. The two of them were stopped and could not save their comrade. Let's kill this brat first. The two of them discussed and instantly attacked Lin Xian together. As long as they killed him, their comrade would be taken care of. Buzz! The young man on the left had his palm glowing. A white jade-like spear appeared, flowing with a terrifying killing intent. In an instant, the surrounding temperature dropped. There seemed to be an illusion of the moon circling in the sky, piercing through heaven and earth. Lin Xian sneered. He stretched out his left hand and grabbed the white, jade-like spear at lightning speed. At the same time, the young man on the right also charged over. He opened his mouth and spat out a ray of light. It was completely condensed from the essence of the moon and had been nurtured in his body for hundreds of years. Now that it was out, it was comparable to a sacred weapon. Lin Xian was not afraid. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched out. Boom! 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 There was a violent collision. Lin Xian's left hand grabbed the spear and shook it violently. The young man spat out blood and flew out. There were many cracks on the spear. At the same time, his fist also collided with the ribbon formed by the essence of the moon. It directly sent the essence flying. The young man was also sent flying. Half of his body was shattered. The two of them were horrified and quickly retreated. Damn it! How can he be so strong? They were completely stunned. The three of them were the experts of their families. The three of them together could suppress anything. Even if they encountered the geniuses of the sacred city, they could suppress them. But now they were at a disadvantage in the hands of the other party. Moreover, the other party's cultivation was only at level 4. This made them unable to think at all. Is there someone who can fight above his level? Is he that powerful? Chapter 3793. Damn it! Use the power of your bloodline. Kill him regardless of the consequences. The two of them roared. Light bloomed between their eyebrows as the power of their bloodline surged in their bodies. They wanted to use a super powerful ability. Lin Xian was also angry. He took out the Great Destruction Spear and shot out 2 rays of light. The black spear pierced through their bodies, causing them to scream crazily. The power of their bloodline was also cut off. Lin Xian shot out 2 more 5 elemental mountains, completely sealing the 3 of them. Boom! Boom! The 3 mountains landed on the ground, suppressing the 3 youths. The 3 of them screamed crazily. Damn it! Let us go if you have the guts, and we'll fight to the death. That's right, you'd better let us go. Otherwise, you're dead. If our family finds out that we're missing, they'll definitely tear you to pieces. Is that so? Then let's see if the New Moon clan can tear me to pieces. Lin Xian sneered. He turned his head and looked around. I'm suppressing these 3. Who dares to save them? After I find out, I'll hunt you down to the ends of the earth. After saying that, Lin Xian turned and left, leaving behind the 3 mountains and the 3 suppressed youths. The surrounding onlookers sucked in a breath of cold air. He was too strong. Who was this person? Why had they never heard of someone defeating 3 5th celestial level experts with a 4th celestial level cultivation? It was unbelievable. They were stunned. They didn't expect that the opening of the celestial fate star would attract such a monster. It seemed that more and more monsters would appear. Their faces were full of shock. As for the 3 people who were being suppressed, they were roaring crazily. Quickly, come over and undo our seals. Come quickly, we're from the New Moon clan. Whoever helps us, our New Moon clan will remember the benefits you get. However, no matter what they said, no one helped them. Lin Xian had said that whoever dared to move would be hunted to the ends of the earth. They didn't dare to provoke such a ruthless person. Therefore, the 3 geniuses of the New Moon clan shouted until their throats were hoarse, but no one responded. Instead, more and more onlookers gathered. The 3 of them couldn't wait to find a hole to hide in. It was too embarrassing. He might as well die. It was even worse than killing them. In the end, news of this matter spread out and attracted the experts of the New Moon clan. Only then was the seal lifted. The faces of the New Moon clan's experts turned ugly. Their geniuses were actually suppressed here. This was simply a slap to their faces. Damn it, who dared to go against the New Moon clan? When they found out that it was the person who had kidnapped the princess, they were even more furious. They had to catch the culprit and tear him to shreds. Otherwise, they would never be able to swallow their anger. At the same time, a few figures suddenly appeared in the vast mountains. Black energy overflowed from their bodies. Exceptionally terrifying. Did you feel it? What a pure devil chi. That's right, it seemed to have been left behind by someone from the demonic path. If we find him, he might be the one we need. A few people whispered and then quickly disappeared. Then they reappeared at the place where Lin Xian fought with the New Moon Genius. He also sensed the demonic chi here. Moreover, he also sensed the chi of the New Moon clan. It seemed like the other party had fought with the New Moon clan. Let's investigate. We must find that person. The few black-robed men quickly disappeared. On the moon, there were big things happening every day. However, there were a few things that were extremely shocking. Firstly, Lei Chong was killed. Secondly, Lin Wudi appeared. Thirdly, the princess of the New Moon clan was almost kidnapped. Moreover, 3 of the New Moon clan's geniuses were forcefully suppressed. This caused everyone to be in an uproar. Another top-notch monstrous genius had appeared, and his methods were so ruthless. It was truly shocking. Some people sneered. The New Moon clan was so powerful that they would definitely not let this matter rest. Just wait and see. The person who provoked the New Moon clan was definitely dead. Lin Xian naturally heard the news too. However, he did not care. He had already given the New Moon clan face by not killing their geniuses. If the other party dared to act recklessly, he would have no choice but to be merciless. However, what happened next was completely unexpected. A piece of news instantly swept across the green moon. The princess of the New Moon clan had disappeared again. What? No way. That person was so daring to kill his way back. No one knew. The New Moon clan was frantically searching for the person. That person was probably dead. When Lin Xian received the news, he was dumbfounded. What was going on? This had nothing to do with him. It seemed like someone had attacked the New Moon clan. He did not know who it was. However, he felt that his heart was beating wildly. He had a bad feeling about it. Damn it. Did he become someone's scapegoat? Sure enough, as soon as he thought about it, the void around him fluctuated and powerful figures appeared. Led by 2 little saints, they led hundreds of experts to surround the area. They were in a city, surrounded by countless geniuses. Everyone was stunned by the sudden appearance of these people. It was the New Moon clan. They had appeared. What were they trying to do? Could it be that the culprit was nearby? These people were stunned. Look, the New Moon clan had surrounded a person. Was it that brat? They looked over and were shocked. No way. A level 4 expert was able to kidnap the princess of the New Moon clan? They heard that the princess was very powerful. She was even stronger than the geniuses of the sacred city. Her cultivation base had reached the mid-stage of the 5th heavenly layer. Moreover, she could fight against a late-stage 5th heavenly layer expert if she used her full strength. Not many people below the minor saint realm could be her opponent. Indeed, how could such a strong person be kidnapped by a person of the 4th celestial layer? They could not believe it. Lin Xian frowned. Damn it. These people were looking for him again. How did they find him? Brat, hand over our princess. One of them shouted angrily. 3 of them had fire in their eyes. They were the 3 people who were suppressed by Lin Xian. Lin Xian frowned. What young master? I've already released him. You should know this. Despicable brat. You've already released him, and now you're making a move in the dark. Tell me where our princess is. Otherwise, I'll tear you into pieces. The 3 men who were suppressed roared crazily. One of the minor saints said coldly, Young man, I hope you won't make a mistake. I'll give you one last chance. Lin Xian's face darkened. I've said it before. I didn't kidnap your princess. I was forced to do so. I was just protecting myself. I don't have any enmity with the New Moon clan. Why would I kidnap your princess? This was done by someone else. You've made a mistake. Go and find someone else. What a load of nonsense. This brat was the only one who could be an elder. Yes, even if it wasn't him, it must have been done by someone behind him. It must have something to do with him. The three men who were suppressed roared crazily. The faces of the two little saints also darkened. Since you won't tell us, we can only do it ourselves. Men, capture him and search his soul for the princess's whereabouts. Chapter 3794. Hearing this, everyone gasped. Would he still be alive after being captured by the New Moon clan and having his soul taken away? They looked at Lin Xian and sighed. Lin Xian's face was extremely ugly. Don't go too far. His voice was cold. To be honest, he had already shown mercy to the New Moon clan. However, he did not expect that these people would be so aggressive. This made him want to kill them. Go too far? Kid, so what if we go too far? Who dares to interfere with the matters of the New Moon clan? Men, do it. The three men who were suppressed earlier sneered. They waved their hands. Suddenly, experts from the New Moon clan walked out, and there was more than one of them. The four experts quickly moved out and surrounded Lin Xian, sealing him off from all directions. Moreover, there were two minor saints who were ready to attack at any time. The situation could be said to be extremely dangerous. Everyone thought that Lin Xian was dead for sure. Even a minor saint would not be able to escape from this situation, let alone a fourth heaven cultivator. Hee kid, aren't you good at fighting? Didn't you want to suppress us? Come on, do it now. Let's see who will suppress who. How dare you three ants jump in front of me? I didn't kill you last time because of your clan. Otherwise, I can suppress the three of you with just one hand. Lin Xian looked at the three of them with disdain. The three of them were angry. Damn it. Indeed, last time when the three of them had joined forces, they had been suppressed. This had caused them to become the laughingstocks of the crowd. At this moment, they were trembling with anger. Kid, so what if you're strong? That's right, you'll die today. When you're dead and we're still alive, we'll know who's the better one. What's there to be arrogant about? Aren't you just relying on your numbers? Lin Xian sneered. That's right, you're right. We're relying on our numbers. We're using our status to suppress you. What can you do about it? Let's see who in this world dares to save you when our New Moon clan attacks. Those people laughed sinisterly. The two minor saints said coldly and attacked. Buzz. As soon as they finished speaking, the laws on the four powerhouses' bodies burst forth and intertwined to form a cage that completely enveloped Lin Xian. The surrounding people shook their heads and sighed. Some of them even closed their eyes. They knew that Lin Xian was finished. Lin Xian's eyes were cold. He slowly pulled out a sword and pointed it at the sky. Do you still want to fight back? You're courting death. The people of the New Moon clan sneered. The onlookers were stunned. Was this young man so unyielding? What a resolute will. However, it was a pity that he was still too weak. How could they have known that Lin Xian wasn't going to fight? He was going to choose the unparalleled sword. Let's see who dares. The person who was being suppressed sneered coldly. The two little saints' faces were cold as well. The four experts continued to attack. Buzz. Lin Xian unleashed his law. The unparalleled sword emitted a sharp sword chi that swept across all directions. At this moment, everyone's heart skipped a beat. What's that? The unparalleled sword? Isn't that the unparalleled city's weapon? Moreover, only a handful of people could own it. It was a symbol of supreme status. How did this guy get it? What unparalleled sword? Are you trying to fool us with a broken sword? What a joke. Do you think we New Moon clan are idiots? The three who were suppressed laughed sinisterly and continued to attack. However, the two minor saints' pupils shrunk. Wait, they roared and the four experts stopped. The people of the New Moon clan were also stunned. especially the three people who had been suppressed. Their expressions changed. Elder Zhang, hurry up and do it. Don't be fooled by that kid. That's right, Elder. How did that kid get it? The unparalleled sword is only owned by the three chief disciples. That kid. Before they could finish their words, their faces changed. Could it be that Lin Xian is a chief disciple? The others also thought of this possibility. Suddenly, there was an uproar and they looked over. At the same time, they were even more puzzled. It shouldn't be. There were three chief disciples in Unparalleled City. The first two were super experts that were not weaker than minor saints. Their cultivation base was earth-shattering. However, the person in front of them was only at the fourth heavenly layer. He was definitely not the chief disciple of the first and second generation. Could it be that he was the chief disciple of the third generation? Was he Lin Wudi? Wasn't he dead? Rumor had it that he was still alive. Someone had seen him a few days ago, and he even came here. It couldn't be him, right? Everyone widened their eyes. The two little saints of the New Moon clan frowned and asked coldly, "Who are you?" Lin Xian's face changed and returned to his original appearance. At the same time, a terrifying golden light shone from his body. His voice was like thunder, resounding in all directions. "I am the chief disciple of the third generation of Unparalleled City, Lin Wudi." It's really him. Everyone sucked in a cold breath. The people of New Moon Clan were stunned at this moment. The faces of the three who had been suppressed became extremely ugly. The faces of the two little saints turned gloomy as well. Damn it! How could he be the chief disciple? To be honest, the reason why they attacked him without restraint was because they thought that he had no special identity. Compared to the New Moon Clan, he was just an ant. No matter how strong he was, they could still send experts to kill him. However, it was different now. The other party was the chief disciple of the sacred city. What kind of identity was that? If they attacked him, it would mean that they were provoking Unparalleled City. The consequences would be disastrous. Unparalleled City would definitely send experts to fight with them. They did not want to start a war with a sacred city. However, their princess had disappeared, and it was very likely that it was related to this person. For a moment, they were in a dilemma. Lin Xian held the unparalleled sword in his hand and looked forward. He sneered coldly. "Why? Not going to attack? Didn't you want to use your identity to suppress me? Come on, I'll wait for you. Let's see if the identity of the New Moon Clan or my identity as the chief disciple of Unparalleled City is greater. You three ants, aren't you the most excited? Hurry up and attack me." He then looked at the three people who had been suppressed. The three of them were so angry that they vomited blood. Damn it, damn it, damn it. They were about to go crazy. Previously, they thought that they were geniuses, but they were defeated by someone with a lower cultivation base. They could not stand it. Later, they decided to use their noble identities to suppress the other party. However, they realized that they could not do it. Although they were geniuses, compared to the sacred city, they were only the core disciples of the sacred city. However, the other party was not only a genius of the sacred city, but also the chief disciple. His identity was almost the same as their princess. How could they be compared to him? Chapter 3795. The people of the New Moon Clan couldn't even lift their heads. The two minor saints said coldly, "Kid, don't be too arrogant. Although you're the chief disciple, you have something to do with the disappearance of our princess. Today, you have to give us an explanation. Tell us, where did you hide our princess?" The three people who were suppressed raised their heads and roared angrily again. Their only hope now was their two elders. It would be best if their princess's disappearance was related to him. Then, even if he was the chief disciple, they would still have a reason to kill him. "What does the disappearance of your princess have to do with me? Which eye of yours saw that it had anything to do with me?" Lin Xian sneered. "Are you trying to pin a crime on me? After all, you did kidnap our princess last time. What a joke. You said it was last time. Last time, there was a misunderstanding between me and your princess. You wanted to kill me immediately, and I didn't want to expose my identity. So, I had no choice but to kidnap your princess. It's different this time. I have no enmity with your princess. Even if there were some conflicts, I wouldn't kidnap your princess. I'm not an idiot. Of course, I know what kind of crime it is to kidnap the princess. It will probably cause a war between the Saint Capital and the New Moon clan. Do you think I'll do that? As soon as he said that, the people around him nodded. Indeed, there was no reason for him to kidnap the princess of the New Moon clan. The people of the New Moon clan were also silent. However, they still didn't give up. Who knows if what you said is true? You can go and investigate. I'm here and can't run away. I'm here to participate in the Heavenly Fate Star. Do you think I'll leave before the Heavenly Fate Star opens? This guy is really here to participate in the Heavenly Fate Star. Yeah, he's another top monster who could survive in the hands of a minor saint. Now that he showed such strength, they wondered what kind of opportunities he would get in the Heavenly Fate Star. These people looked at Lin Xian and discussed. The two minor saints also discussed and nodded. We'll believe you for now. However, if we find out that you're really related to the princess's disappearance, we'll kill you. No matter who you are, we'll kill you without mercy. Let's go. The two minor saints led the people of the New Moon clan and turned to leave. Lin Xian said coldly, "Wait." As soon as he said this, everyone was stunned. What was going on? The people of the New Moon clan also stopped. The two small saints frowned. What else do you want? Lin Xian raised his peerless sword and walked forward. I have already explained the matter of your princess to you. Shouldn't you all give me an explanation? What explanation do you want? Someone roared. Lin Xian said, "You guys didn't even get to the bottom of the situation before you directly pinned the blame on me and even provoked me multiple times. You're provoking a Saint Realm expert. Tell me, what kind of explanation do I need? I can't let my sacred city be humiliated." At this point, he looked up and stared at the three people he had suppressed before. Whoa! The peerless sword flew out, and 3 sword beams cut off the heads of the 3 men. Even their souls would be destroyed in an instant. The 3 of them widened their eyes. Even in death, they could not believe that the other party would dare to attack them in front of their elders. The people of the New Moon clan were stunned as well. Then they roared madly. "Damn it! What are you trying to do?" Countless people pulled out their swords and sabers. Killing intent instantly erupted from their bodies. Even the eyes of the 2 little saints shone with a piercing light as they fixed their eyes on Lin Xian. The surrounding people were in an uproar. What was going on? Why did Lin Wuyi suddenly attack? Lin Xian was not afraid at all. He stood with his hands behind his back and said loudly, "Those who humiliate the sacred city will be killed without mercy." He was too domineering. Everyone swallowed their saliva. The 2 small saints' faces turned ugly. "Let's go." They took the 3 corpses and quickly soared into the sky, disappearing into the sky. They left. The people of the New Moon clan actually left. This Lin Wuyi was too strong. The news spread like wildfire. The whole world was in an uproar. Lin Wuyi was indeed alive again. Moreover, he appeared to confront the New Moon clan. He killed 3 geniuses of the New Moon clan in front of the small saints. This matter shocked everyone, especially the Saint Qing experts, who were in an uproar. Damn it, he actually dares to appear again. Let's go and kill him. The people of Thunder God City were furious. Lin Wuyi killed their Lei Chong as soon as he appeared. How could they not take revenge? A group of people rushed over with murderous intent. On the other side, the people of Demon City were the same. They also decided to go and see if Lin Wuyi was really resurrected. The experts of the Golden Crow clan also moved. Was the disappearance of their small saints related to Lin Wuyi? In an instant, a storm gathered. The first to arrive were the people of Thunder God City because they were eager to take revenge. Not long after the news spread, They came and looked for Lin Xian. The surrounding people originally wanted to leave, but they did not expect that someone would come to kill them. Hence, they stopped to watch again. They were the people of Thunder God City. They were also looking for Lin Wuti. Don't you know? Lin Wuti had just arrived in this world and killed Lei Chong with a punch. This was a slap to Thunder God City's face. It was all because Saint Chengdu wanted face. How could Thunder God City not take revenge? Lin Wuti was too strong, wasn't he? Killing a level 5 genius with a level 4 cultivation was like cutting vegetables. Such a person was really monstrous. Not necessarily. Maybe Lei Chong was too careless. In any case, who knows the details of this? Some people exclaimed, while some sneered, thinking that Lin Xian might have some despicable means. However, after this battle, they should be able to see how strong Lin Xian was. Brat, prepare to die. An expert of the Thunder God City descended from the sky, bringing along endless lightning with him as he rushed over. A lightning hammer appeared in his hand, and he swung it down. The ground and the void below quickly sank. This attack was extremely powerful. Buzz! Lin Xian did not say anything and threw out the unparalleled sword. The unparalleled sword turned into a stream of light and pierced through the void. With a poochie sound, the opponent's body was split into two. Ah! A miserable cry resounded, reverberating between heaven and earth. Everyone's scalp went numb. One move. With just one move, a level 5 expert was split into two. Wasn't this method too powerful? Go to hell! Another person also came. He flew from the ground and rushed in front of Lin Xian like a bolt of lightning. He stretched out both hands. 2 lightning palms carried a berserk aura. Boom! Lin Xian lashed out with a kick that resembled a dragon colliding with his opponent. A sonorous sound rang out, and the opponent's palms were instantly broken. Not only that, the opponent's body was also split into pieces. He fell to the ground and screamed. In the blink of an eye, 2 experts of Thunder God City were seriously injured by the opponent. They were wailing on the ground. Chapter 3796. This scene was too terrifying, as if it was the end of the world. The surrounding people were trembling. What kind of combat strength was this? The other party fell down as soon as he made his move. Damn it, you sneak attacked me. The experts of Thunder God City roared crazily. Lin Xian laughed after hearing this. Sneak attack you? You guys are here to kill me, right? You attacked me without saying anything. Now it's me who sneak attacked you? Do you think the surrounding people are all idiots? The 2 people of Thunder God City were so angry that they couldn't speak. Shame, it was too shameful. The 2 of them came with great strength, but they couldn't even block 2 moves from the other party and were seriously injured. How were they going to face others in the future? The 2 of them quickly recovered from their injuries. Their faces were incomparably cold as they stared at the unparalleled sword in the other party's hand with a hint of fear. You guys are here to kill me, then die. Lin Xian didn't say anything and attacked again. His speed was also fast to the extreme, and he arrived in front of the 2 in an instant. The unparalleled sword in his hand emitted a biting cold sword chi, and a terrifying power rushed over. It was like a long golden river, illuminating the 9 heavens. There was even a dragon's roar coming from the sword light. Damn it, the 2 experts of Thunder God City were also shocked. They didn't expect the other party to be so decisive and attack without saying anything. In a hurry, they also formed seals. A terrifying thunder Qilin rushed up and rushed towards the golden sword light to block this attack. With a boom, the sky and earth shook. Terrifying laws spread out in all directions, and the surrounding people kept retreating. Buzz! The long sword swept out, and the stars moved, pulling the thunder Qilin to the side. Then, Lin Xian punched out like a thunder sun. He directly smashed it open. The 2 of them screamed, and their bodies were once again smashed into pieces. Lin Xian stepped on their broken bodies and grabbed their souls. With a few slashes, they were completely destroyed. He didn't even need to use his eye technique. The great dragon sword spirit could kill everything, not to mention the souls. The two experts disappeared, and they couldn't be more dead. The surrounding people were completely stunned. 2/5 celestial layer geniuses were killed just like that? This method was truly heaven-defying. After killing them, Lin Xian took their storage rings. Suddenly, he raised his eyebrows and glanced into the distance with a grin. With a wave of his sleeve, the law of the five forms covered the area and collected all the blood and corpses. In the next moment, the crack in the void was mended, and the crater on the ground also disappeared. Everything returned to normal, as if the battle had never happened. The surrounding people were stunned. What did Lin Wuti mean by doing this? But they soon understood. That was because there were more figures descending from the sky. This time, it was a group of powerful, monstrous beasts. As soon as they landed, the entire ground started to tremble. One could well imagine how terrifying that power was. There were 3 people from the demon city, and they were very strong. They were all experts at the initial stage of the 5th heavenly layer. Such a person was extremely rare, even among the geniuses. It was extremely terrifying. However, the surrounding onlookers had strange expressions on their faces. This was because Lin Xian had effortlessly killed 2 early-stage 5th heavenly layer powerhouses. It seemed that with Lin Xian's strength, it wouldn't be a problem for him to fight against a 5th celestial layer expert. Now they finally knew why Lin Xian took the blood and corpses away. It was to confuse the people behind him. It's over. They looked at the people from the demon city with sympathy. They estimated that the 3 experts from the demon city would end up in a miserable state. The people from the demon city didn't know. After they came down, they had smiles on their faces. Lin Wuti, it's really you. You really didn't die. That's great. Yes, it's a pity that a genius like you died. After the 3 of them came down, they had fake smiles on their faces. Those who didn't know would think that they were very concerned about Lin Xian. After hearing that, Lin Xian sneered in his heart. They were up to no good. Of course, he didn't show it on his face. Thank you for your concern. I wonder what the 3 of you are here for. After hearing that Brother Lin was also going to participate in the Celestial Fate Star competition, one of the werewolves asked with a smile. Although he had transformed into a human body, he still had the head of a wolf. Although he was smiling, his smile was incomparably terrifying. That's right. I'm here to participate in the Celestial Fate Star competition. Lin Xian nodded. He wanted to see what these 3 people were up to. Brother Lin didn't know that although the Celestial Fate Star had great opportunities, it was also extremely dangerous. If one wasn't careful, they could die inside. Another beast came out. This time it was a fox. It transformed into a human form. It had a head of white hair and 3 tails that swept gently behind its back. A 3-tailed celestial fox? Many people were shocked. This was an extremely terrifying beast of heaven and earth. It would be extremely terrifying when it grew up. The last one was also extremely terrifying. It was a rhinoceros that had cultivated into a demon. Its body was extremely huge, like a demon king. It emitted a monstrous killing intent. That's why we're here this time, to kindly warn Brother Lin. Don't enter the Celestial Fate Star rashly. Otherwise, you might die. Oh, is that so? However, I don't need the 3 of you to worry about my matters. Lin Xian said indifferently. What kind of good intentions could these people have? The 3 heavenly foxes said, We're here to save you. How can you not know what's good for you? You're not even going to listen to our kind warnings? Or do you think that you're strong enough to not be afraid of those dangers? Although the 3 of them were persuading him, their words were sharp and made people feel extremely uncomfortable. The people in the distance felt their scalps go numb. As expected, these 3 people didn't have good intentions. What if I insist on going? Lin Xian looked at the three of them. The three-tailed heavenly fox smiled. A green light appeared in his eyes as he looked at Lin Xian. We naturally won't stop you. We'll only let Brother Lin know how dangerous that place is. Why don't we practice in advance? The three of us will spar with Brother Lin. Use eye techniques on him. Lin Xian was still unafraid. He said, "All right, let's spar then." The three-tailed celestial fox laughed. The rhinoceros sage and the Arctic wolf sage looked at each other. Then their lips curled into a smile. In their opinion, if they wanted to spar, Lin Xian would refuse. Now that he agreed so easily, it must be the effect of the three-tailed heavenly fox's eye technique that confused him. This way, they could legitimately make a move. When the time came, they would torture him to death. They didn't know that Lin Xian wasn't affected at all. He just wanted to get rid of the three of them. The surrounding onlookers also had strange expressions on their faces. Who was the one hunting who? These people from the myriad demon city were probably going to face a great disaster, right? They looked at the three of them sympathetically. The rhinoceros sage and the Arctic wolf sage were fine, but the three heavenly foxes were naturally suspicious. He looked at the surrounding onlookers and frowned slightly. Why did he have a bad feeling in his heart? Chapter 3797. These people's gazes were too strange, making him uncomfortable. However, he couldn't figure out what was wrong. How could three early-stage, fifth firmament geniuses not be able to take him down? It seemed that he was being paranoid. He shook his head and stopped thinking about it. He stood at the back with his arms crossed, looking like he was watching a show. There was no need for him to make a move. Just his two companions were enough to easily beat the other party. They would let the other party know that there was always someone better. Sparring, right? Sure, let's see who will make the first move. Lin Xian asked with a smile, as if he didn't know the danger. Idiot. The rhinoceros saint and the Arctic wolf saint sneered. They had never seen such an idiot. Well, things had been going too smoothly for the other party recently. He was probably blinded by victory. Let them teach him a lesson. Fists and legs had no eyes. If they hurt the other party, they hoped that Brother Lin wouldn't blame them. Don't worry, I won't blame you. Hurry up and make your move. Lin Xian showed an impatient expression. The rhinoceros saint and the Arctic wolf saint were even more disdainful. What a stupid guy. Since he was in such a hurry to die, they would fulfill his wish. The Arctic wolf saint walked out. He waved his hands, bringing about a powerful ice storm. The surroundings were frozen, as if it had turned into a world of ice and snow. The surrounding onlookers shivered. How powerful! The Arctic wolf saint was a snow wolf from the Arctic. He was an ice-type saint. At this moment, the ice law was used, freezing the world. He was too strong. Ordinary veteran experts were probably no match for him. If it was before, they would definitely be worried about Lin Xian. But now they weren't. Instead, they sympathized with the Arctic wolf saint. Between heaven and earth, endless frost turned into a wolf head. Accompanied by the terrifying ice law, it charged forward. Lin Xian sneered. With a stomp of his foot, endless sword qi turned into a galaxy that swept across the sky. Boom! 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 The sword qi that filled the sky was frozen. Frost seemed to have formed on Lin Xian's body. He pretended to be afraid and quickly retreated. Only then was he able to escape the pursuit of Hanbing. When the Arctic wolf sage saw this, he smiled. Did you see that, Brother Lin? You couldn't take it the moment I attacked. With your strength, why would you want to go to Heaven's fate planet? Beside him, the rhinoceros sage's eyes were filled with disdain. Behind him, the three-tailed celestial fox frowned slightly. Although he had tried very hard to tell himself that there would be no accidents, his heart was still beating wildly. This was a natural instinct that foretold danger. Impossible. That brat couldn't even defeat the Arctic wolf saint. There's still the rhinoceros saint and me. There's no way any accidents would happen. The three-tailed heavenly fox shook his head. He felt that something was wrong with his instincts. In front of him, the Arctic wolf saint was attacking aggressively and killing nonstop. This caused more and more ice to form around Lin Xian. Lin Xian was almost frozen, while the onlookers' mouths twitched. Damn, this Lin Xian's acting was too good. If they hadn't seen Lin Xian's methods before, they would have been fooled by him. Brother Lin, did you see that? You're not my opponent at all. How could you go to heaven's fate planet? The Arctic wolf sage stood in the sky and looked down at the other party. This feeling was indescribably satisfying. Wasn't the other party a Saint Realm genius? Wasn't he the chief disciple? Wasn't he still trampled under his feet? He wanted to let everyone know that the chief disciple of Peerless City was nothing. He couldn't be compared to the Demon City at all. Lin Xian said as he dodged the storm, as expected of the Arctic wolf, "This ice is really strong, but I believe that I can still resist it. The pressure isn't enough. How about this? Let Brother Rhinoceros attack together and give me more pressure. Who knows? I might be able to break through." "Break through your sister," the Arctic wolf sage sneered. The rhinoceros sage also snorted. "You really don't know what's good for you. You still want pressure. Fine, I'll fulfill your wish. This is your own request. Don't blame the two of us for joining forces. That's right. If there are any casualties later, it's purely an accident. This is a voluntary exchange of pointers. Even if we die, it won't affect the Saint Realm behind us. Don't you think so?" Lin Xian also said. The two sages were stunned. This kid was really an idiot. It seemed that the three-tailed celestial fox's eye technique was really powerful. It had already made this kid arrogant to the point where he didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. The two of them laughed. Naturally, life and death were up to fate. It had nothing to do with the Saint Realm. Behind them, the three-tailed celestial fox's feeling was getting worse and worse. He felt as if his heart was about to jump out. Damn it, what was going on? Why was Lin Wudy acting so stupid? Was it really his eye technique that worked? He didn't know. He had a feeling that the crisis was about to happen. Very well. In front, Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile. "Then I won't be polite and will send the two of you on your way." "Okay, Brother Lin, don't be polite. Use whatever means you have." The two sages sneered. They felt that Lin Xian was now completely stupid and there was no need to worry too much. Boom! Lin Xian didn't hold back anymore. Since the other party had taken the bait, then he could start killing. He waved his fist, and the 9 suns' divine fire was like a sun that streaked across the sky. The surrounding ice instantly collapsed and melted. A punch directly landed on the Arctic wolf sage's body and sent him flying. Half of the Arctic wolf sage's body was shattered and he screamed in the sky. Ah, the miserable sound made one's scalp tingle. Damn it, what was going on? The rhinoceros sage was shocked. The three-tailed celestial fox's pupils also shrank. Something really happened. How did the other party's strength suddenly become so strong? He felt even more uneasy. The surrounding onlookers' mouths twitched. They had long known that this demon king couldn't be so kind. Now he finally showed his fangs. Oh, the poor people of Demon City. They were really unlucky. If these 3 sages knew that they would be pitted, what would they think? "Oh, I'm sorry, did I use too much strength?" Lin Xian retracted his fist and asked with a smile. In the sky, the Arctic wolf sage's expression was extremely ugly. He was so angry that his entire body was trembling. What was going on with that punch? How could it defeat him? His ice laws were actually melted. The injuries on his body quickly healed. The Arctic wolf sage's eyes shone with a cold light. It was nothing, just a small injury. It seemed that Brother Lin had been hiding his strength. In that case, let's not be polite. The Arctic wolf sage roared and swooped down. The ice aura on his body became more and more terrifying. He was like an ice god descending from the sky. Lin Xian formed a seal with his palm. Endless flames danced and turned into a golden crow that shone between heaven and earth. The golden crow flew out and collided with the Arctic wolf. The power of ice and fire erupted between heaven and earth. Damn it! The werewolf let out a miserable howl. Chapter 3798. This flame was too terrifying. It even melted the ice armor on his body. Not only that, he felt that he had suffered extremely serious injuries. Kill him. He finally couldn't care about anything else and roared crazily. Beside him, Saint Rhinoceros also roared angrily and struck out with his palm. His power was so great that with a single stretch of his palm, the void within a radius of 10 million miles instantly collapsed. Lin Xian also threw out a punch. The two fists collided in the sky with a cracking sound. Oh no! The moment they exchanged blows, Saint Rhinoceros's expression changed instantly. He realized that his opponent was not what he had imagined at all. His opponent's fist technique seemed ordinary, but under his fist there was an extremely violent power. It was as if a Tyrannosaurus was going to tear his body apart. At this moment, he, who was known for his strength, did not dare to take it head-on. However, it was too late to turn back now. Lin Xian's fist was like a long dragon, directly shattering his opponent's palm. Not only that, but his opponent's huge arm was also torn to pieces. With a miserable cry, Saint Rhinoceros was also sent flying. Damn it, how did this happen? The Arctic wolf, Saint, was completely stunned. He sent the golden crow flying, and his body was charred black. He looked at the scene in disbelief. Saint Rhinoceros was extremely powerful. In terms of strength, no one could compete with him. Even he only dared to attack from afar and use the law of ice to block. But now his opponent had actually surpassed Saint Rhinoceros in terms of body and strength. Damn it, this kid has been hiding and deceiving us all this time. The other party is setting up a trap. When the three-tailed celestial fox saw this scene, he was completely stunned. Damn it, have we been deceived? They wanted to set up a trap to kill the other party, but they realized that the other party was setting them up. Now he finally knew why the surrounding people had strange expressions. Why did he feel so uneasy? It turned out that the other party was not an idiot, but a hidden demon king. At this moment, he bared his fangs and wanted to slaughter them. The strange gazes of the surrounding people were sympathy for them. Thinking of this possibility, the three-tailed celestial fox felt that his world was about to collapse. Why would the three of us top geniuses need sympathy? Damn it, kill him quickly. Up ahead, the North Pole wolf, Saint, roared angrily. The rhinoceros, Saint, had also recovered his body. The two of them quickly charged over. This time they did not hold back. They were originally here to kill the other party. It was just that they were looking for a legitimate reason to do so. Now, they were absolutely going to kill whoever stood in their way. Kill! The rhinoceros sage roared madly as he swung his fists. This was a peerless fist technique. His bloodline combined with this divine ability. At this moment, each of his punches was like a heavenly hammer, smashing down from the sky. It was likely that none of the saints of the same level would be able to compete with him in terms of strength. On the other side, the Arctic wolf, Saint, also charged over with an ice scepter. The ice of the 9 heavens and 10 earths was completely mobilized. It could freeze everything in the world. Lin Xian sneered and used the immobilization art to immobilize the Arctic wolf Saint. At the same time, he turned around and attacked the rhinoceros Saint. 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. Lin Xian threw out 18 punches in one go, shattering the rhinoceros Saint's body into pieces. The rhinoceros Saint screamed in horror and turned around to escape. Too strong. He was no match for the other party in terms of physique. He felt that the other party's strength was enough to destroy him. If you want to leave, stay. Lin Xian snorted coldly. His fist carried a bright light as it directly smashed the other party's body into pieces. His soul was also smashed into smithereens. A heavenly saint of a generation had fallen. Lin Xian turned around and stared at the Arctic Wolf Saint. The Arctic Wolf Saint was scared out of his wits. The Rhinoceros Saint was dead. Impossible! He roared crazily. The ice scepter burst out with a piercing cold light and hit the composed pearl. He broke free from the bindings and wanted to escape. Buzz! Lin Xian pulled out the unparalleled sword and slashed out. The sword illuminated the 9 heavens, and the surrounding ice shattered. It could not block it all. No. The Arctic Wolf Saint screamed crazily. He realized that the other party's sword chi seemed to be more powerful than his fist technique. Ice divine light! He roared madly as he waved the ice scepter in his hand. At this moment, he did not hold back at all. He formed a huge ice shield in front of him like a canopy. Poof! He had underestimated Lin Xian's swordsmanship. Lin Xian's sword chi was really too powerful. It tore through everything. The ice shield of the canopy one was shattered, and a large crack appeared. Not only that, the Arctic Wolf Saint's body was also cut in half. Boom! Even the ice scepter in his hand exploded with a bang. Dead again. Another top-notch expert had died. Everyone gasped. They had already guessed the result. But now that they saw it with their own eyes, they were still terrified. How was that possible? The 3 heavenly foxes were dumbfounded when they saw that scene. His 2 companions were extremely powerful, and the 2 of them were even more terrifying when they joined forces. But at this moment, they were killed mercilessly and easily. He could not believe it. When he saw Lin Xian walking towards him, his body trembled. He screamed, "You actually killed the 2 of them. Do you know what you've done? They're from the 1,000 Monster City." Lin Xian said with a smile, "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't I say before that fists and feet have no eyes?" Moreover, when they fought before, they agreed that their lives and deaths were up to fate, and it had nothing to do with the holy city behind them. It's the same when I die, and it should be the same when they die. Don't you think so? The 3-tailed heavenly fox swallowed his saliva. Although the other party was smiling, he felt that it was the smile of a demon. He wanted to escape now, but in the next moment he screamed because he saw a trace of golden light in the other party's eyes. His soul trembled, and it was almost broken. Damn it, a soul attack! And it was a very powerful eye technique attack. He finally understood that his previous eye technique did not have any effect at all because the other party was an expert in eye techniques. It was very likely that the other party was even more powerful than him. From the beginning, they were completely fooled. What are you trying to do? The 3 heavenly foxes felt their hair stand on end, and the 3 tails behind them trembled uneasily. Lin Xian said with a smile, "Didn't you come to spar with me? Let's continue. What are you going to compete on? The law of mystical powers, or the soul of an eye technique? No, you can't attack me." The 3-tailed heavenly fox hurriedly shook his head. Attack? What a joke! He did not dare to do so. Why not attack? Lin Xian said with a smile, "Didn't you come to persuade me? My thoughts have not changed, and you haven't succeeded yet. You should continue to persuade me." "We're not here to persuade you." The 3-tailed heavenly fox hurriedly shook his head. Lin Xian's face sank. "You're not here to persuade me? You want to attack me? You're using all your killing moves? 2 against 1. Are you trying to kill me?" At this point, his voice was incomparably cold. "How dare you? You dare to kill me?" Chapter 3799. No, we don't want to kill you. The 3-tailed celestial fox was completely terrified now. The other party's aura was too strong. He felt like he was facing a minor saint. "Is that so? But now, I'm still very suspicious of your intentions. Now, there are 2 options. 1. Obediently fight with me, and do your best to persuade me. 2. Represent Demon City, and apologize to me, and compensate me. You can choose one. The three-tailed celestial fox was about to cry, represent Demon City, and apologize to the other party? What a joke. Isn't this slapping Demon City's face? If he did this, Demon City wouldn't let him off. However, if he didn't do this, the other party would probably kill him now. After all, the other party had already killed 2 people. One more wouldn't matter. After thinking for a long time, the three-tailed celestial fox could only lower his head and admit his mistake. This caused an uproar. Lin Fan was too strong, suppressing Demon City until they couldn't raise their heads. Not only did he have to admit his mistake, but he also had to compensate. Compensate me with half the world's resources. Hearing this, the three-tailed celestial fox almost knelt on the ground. The surrounding people also felt their scalps tingle. Lin Xian said coldly, "All right, you can get lost now." He waved his sleeve and sent the other party flying. Lin Xian naturally knew that he was asking for too much. He also knew that the other party wouldn't give him anything. He didn't care. What he wanted was to slap Demon City's face. Previously, wasn't the sacred city of 10,000 beasts high and mighty? Furthermore, 2 of the 10 little beasts were from the sacred city of 10,000 beasts. The other party wanted to kill him. This time, he had to slap them in the face. Sure enough, the news spread quickly and the world was in an uproar. The experts of the 2 demon cities had died in the hands of the other party. Only the three-tailed celestial fox managed to escape. Moreover, they only let him go after he admitted his mistake and promised to compensate. The people of Thunder City were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. They had already lost 3 experts on their side. The people of Demon City were also so angry that they vomited blood. They immediately found the three-tailed celestial fox and couldn't wait to kill him. The three-tailed celestial fox naturally received a harsh punishment. However, Demon City wasn't satisfied. They swore that they would definitely tear that kid into pieces. The other experts and geniuses were even more shocked. Isn't this Lin Wudy too strong? What was he trying to do? Why had he killed so many experts from the sacred city? Of course, there were also some people who were excited. They were Lin Xian's followers. Lin Xian's fighting style, talent, and battle prowess naturally won the admiration of countless people. Many of them regarded Lin Xian as their idol. Previously, it was rumored that Lin Xian had died in the evil demon city, causing countless people to sigh. Now that Lin Xian had returned, and it was a strong return, it naturally made these people excited. Great, as expected of Lin Wudy. Whoever dared to underestimate Lin Wudy would end up dead. Lin Wudy dominated the world. Even among the geniuses of the sacred city, he was definitely at the top. Lin Xian's actions attracted the attention of countless people. Among them, a few mysterious people also noticed. This person was very strong. What about him? No, he's a genius of the holy city, the chief disciple, and he doesn't meet our requirements. Or should we find the person who had the demonic aura? But previously, the people of the New Moon clan found him and said that he was holding the princess hostage. Could he be the person we're looking for? No way. This matter is very important. We have to get to the bottom of it. If it's really him, we have to do it regardless of whether he's the chief disciple or not. No one can stop our plan. These people began to investigate. On the other side, in a mansion inside an endless palace, a young man stood with his hands behind his back. There was also a crescent moon between his eyebrows. At this moment, his back was facing the crowd. In the main hall, there were a few figures kneeling. That guy actually managed to escape. What should we do? In front of them, the man with his back facing the figure said indifferently, "Don't worry, continue the operation and send people to kill him. We can't let the woman come back alive." Of course, now that the clan was suspecting Lin Wudy, they had to think of a way to throw more dirty water on him. let the clan completely suspect him. This way, we can let him take the blame. Because this moon world was close to the celestial fate star, it was also tainted with a mysterious aura. Furthermore, over the past tens of thousands of years, more than one genius had come to this place and stayed for a period of time. Therefore, there were many historical relics in this world. Some of them were left behind by the ancient sages and contained a mysterious aura. Lin Xian was now touring the mountains and rivers, looking at the relics left behind by the ancient powerhouses. He had once found a footprint in a mountain. The power on the footprint was too terrifying. It had not been extinguished for 30,000 years, which shocked him. Then he saw a crack on a mountain peak. It was a sword scar, which was obviously left behind by a swordsman 50,000 years ago. He wondered what happened to those powerhouses back then. Could it be that they had all entered the cycle of reincarnation? Lin Xian sighed. This path was really too difficult. No matter how talented you were, there were very few who could become a great emperor in the end. Suddenly, Lin Xian's eyebrows twitched. There was a fight. His gaze pierced through the world and looked into the distance. Soon he was stunned. How could it be her? Lin Xian was too surprised. Because he discovered that a woman was being hunted down. He knew that person and even had a slight relationship with him. The princess of the New Moon clan. She had indeed gone missing and was being hunted down. Who was it that dared to chase the princess of the New Moon clan? Lin Xian frowned. He had been suspected by the New Moon clan before. Now he felt that he could save the princess. That way, he would be cleared of suspicion. Thinking of this, he prepared to move. However, he was soon stunned. The reason for that was because he discovered that his opponent was also fleeing in his direction. What was going on? Was it a coincidence, or was it arranged by someone? Lin Xian did not think too much because Gao Yu's speed was very fast. She arrived nearby in an instant. It's you. Gao Yu also saw Lin Xian and revealed a look of shock. Just as she was surprised, she was shot in the back by an arrow, which directly broke through her defense. Her blood flowed out and dyed her delicate body red. Gao Yu almost fell from the sky. What a terrifying assassin! Lin Xian was shocked. He knew Gao Yu's strength. He had once fought with her and could not take her down. But now these assassins could actually hurt Gao Yu. It was really shocking. Where did these assassins come from? It's really fate. Since I have met them, I have to take action. Lin Xian waved his hand and a terrifying sword qi rushed out, forcing the assassins beside Gao Yu to retreat. At the same time, he roared and rushed forward. Gao Yu's nerves were very strange. To be honest, she did not have a good impression of Lin Xian because he had taken advantage of her twice. But now he was saving her, so she could not help but be grateful. This feeling put her in a very difficult position. Soon, she put away this thought. She knew that now was not the time to think too much. She had to quickly defeat these people. Otherwise, it would be dangerous. Chapter 3800. Kill. She stopped bleeding, and the laws on her body exploded. A crescent moon appeared behind her, spinning. A terrifying aura slashed towards the back like a heavenly blade. One person was sent flying, and that person was instantly split in half. However, the blood mist instantly disappeared into the world. Lin Xian also made a move. He was abnormally powerful, blowing up 2 assassins with a punch. The 2 assassins were seriously injured, but they did not die. Their blood also disappeared. Then 2 people came from behind Lin Xian, and another person came from under his feet. The 3 of them formed a killing move. A terrifying killing power shrouded him, making his entire body turn cold. Damn it, the killing intent of these assassins is so familiar. Lin Xian frowned. When he was in the true spirit world, he was hunted down. At that time, there was a group of assassins who were very terrifying. For example, hell, heaven, and the mortal world. They were all assassin organizations with tens of thousands of years of history. It was even rumored that those assassin organizations had produced earth-shattering figures who could even kill saints. Now that he saw these mysterious assassins, Lin Xian had a very familiar feeling. One of the assassins held a fan and gently waved it. A law swept down, forming the Death God domain, causing Lin Xian and Gao Yu's bodies to tremble. "Break out!" The two of them roared in anger. This domain was simply too terrifying. Even Lin Xian's physique was continuously impacted by it. Gao Yu even used her bloodline to resist. To be honest, Gao Yu was already very weak. After all, she had been hunted for many days. If not for her powerful strength and terrifying bloodline, she would have been killed long ago. Although she was fine now, the situation was very bad. Lin Xian roared and pulled out the Great Destruction Spear. Like a stick, he smashed it. With one strike, he sent the Law of Death flying. Then he rushed out with Gao Yu. Buzz, buzz, buzz! At this moment, another woman appeared in the sky. She was wearing a veil and was abnormally hazy and strange. A guqin appeared in her hand, and she gently played it. Sound waves swept through the world. Countless large cracks appeared in the void, trying to swallow the two of them. Quickly disperse. Lin Xian shouted in a low voice. He and Gao Yu rushed out in a left and right direction. A terrifying spatial crack appeared between them. It was bottomless. On Lin Xian's side, he was attacked by countless sound waves. He used the Kuan Peng movement technique and dodged quickly. At the same time, a golden blade of light shot out from his eyes, shattering all of the sonic attacks. Buzz, buzz, buzz! The mysterious woman charged with the magic zither in hand. There were 4 assassins around her. On the other side, the man with the fan in his hand charged toward Gao Yu. He was also accompanied by 3 killer saints. This was simply a fatal blow. Lin Xian's face was gloomy and cold. He didn't expect that saving someone would put him in such a dangerous situation. He coldly snorted. Since this was the case, he wouldn't hold back. The Great Destruction Spear danced, and streams of black devil qi swept across the 9 heavens, transforming into black dragons that danced nonstop. As for the mysterious woman, she was playing the zither nonstop. Sound waves pierced through metal and cracked stone, clashing with the black dragons in the sky like peerless celestial swords. The two clashed in the sky. The entire place was reduced to chaos, and the terrifying power tore everything apart. The 4 assassins attacked together at the side. 2 attacks hit Lin Xian, knocking Lin Xian back. However, Lin Xian's body was extremely tough. The 2 attacks didn't manage to pierce through his body. Instead, Lin Xian kicked one of the assassins to death. The other assassin was also affected by the impact of that power and was sent flying. The battle was very intense. On the other side, Gao Yu was in the same situation. "Woman, why are you still pretending to be all high and mighty at a time like this? Hurry up and ask for help," Lin Xian urged. On the other side, Gao Yu's little face was cold with anger. "I've already tried. They've already set up a formation to prevent me from calling for help." She was about to go mad with anger. Did she need anyone to teach her such things? Lin Xian's expression turned cold. "Is there a formation?" Golden light burst out from his eyes, and he found that there was a very thin layer of clouds floating around the world. Sure enough, it was a formation, and it actually enveloped him as well. Was this part of their plan? Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. His spear was like a dragon, and the great dragon sword soul was activated. This attack directly tore a hole in the spirit formation. Gao Yu seized the opportunity and activated the power of her bloodline. A crescent moon was rotating between heaven and earth, emitting a terrifying aura. At this moment, more than half of the world could see it. "Princess!" The people of the New Moon clan were even more so. "Go quickly!" These people quickly attacked. The two little devourers' speed reached the extreme, and they arrived nearby in an instant. Heaven and earth shattered. The assassins in the sky also stopped attacking. Led by the mysterious woman and the man with the folding fan, they quickly retreated. If you want to leave, stay. The two little saints were furious and launched terrifying attacks. A big palm enveloped these people. The mysterious woman played the magic zither and pierced through the void. The other mysterious man disappeared between heaven and earth. The rest of the assassins were sent flying while vomiting blood. However, most of them had escaped. Only 2 of them were seriously injured and fell from the sky. Damn it! Chase! The other little saint quickly chased after them, but soon he returned with a gloomy face. He disappeared. The opponent's movement technique was too strange. He couldn't keep up with it. Who the hell is this person? Fortunately, there were still 2 people left. They had to torture and interrogate them. The troops of the New Moon clan also rushed over and completely surrounded the area. "Princess, are you all right?" They rushed over with worried looks on their faces. However, at this moment, someone screamed, "Damn kid, it's you! It's really you! You're the one who kidnapped our princess!" They pointed at Lin Xian and screamed. The 2 little saints turned their heads, their eyes also bursting with killing intent. "Lin Gongzi, we've said before that if this matter has nothing to do with you, we won't do anything to you. Even if you're the chief disciple, we won't let you go." At this moment, the 2 little saints seemed to have turned into killing gods. Their terrifying killing intent soared into the sky. Lin Xian's face was cold. At this moment, Gao Yu said, "Stop! Lin Gongzi saved me just now. If it weren't for him, I'm afraid I would have been killed by now. Maybe he's just putting on a show." There were also some elders who looked unfriendly. Gao Yu shook her head. "It can't be him. If he wanted to kill me, he would have done it the first time he kidnapped me. At that time, no one knew his identity. Why did he let me go? Why did he do something unnecessary? Besides, after he let me go, I had already returned to a secret place that only the people of my family know. I suspect that there's a mole." "What?" Hearing this, everyone's expression changed. There was a mole. This was something they couldn't tolerate. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.